Welcome back, everyone, to round 3 at the Kyoto Ring GP Long Circuit of the 2024 GT2 Challenge season.
Green flag, we have a race.
This is it. Drivers 3, 4, 5 wide in the background.
No,
yellow flag.
No, of course, the car stick into the turn 1 barrier.
Oh, and another collision. And brilliant move, an aggressive send, but cleanly through. But Isaac Price bump drafting Borislav Botev. Dennis too late on the brakes. Dennis too late on the brakes. He gets into the rear of Borislav Botev.
Sean's really in trouble, Travis, I'm afraid. He's burned up that rear left tyre.
Dennis Lind, with the benefit of the slipstream, easily take the racing line.
Right front puncture, as a matter of fact, so this is trouble. Slide us. Without a doubt, brilliant drive from Vytautas Lagutskas. Neck and neck to turn 8. They won't yield whatsoever.
Oh, they both down. Controller Malik was side by side with the first corner. Oh, get your spin! You only get your spin. Is that me?
In the middle, 3 wide. What a move by Isaac Price. Good day to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to the 4th and final round of the New Dimension Racing GT2 Challenge 2024 season, presented by Sim Broadcasts here on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Travis Mehlinger. Pleased to share the box once again with you, Eoin Harmon. Hello, welcome.
Thanks very much, Travis. Yeah, it's a special day for everyone with Irish ancestry or anything of the sort with St. Patrick's Day, but with Live for Speed, this is what counts. This is the season finale of GT2 Challenge, so I'm looking forward to it.
Me as well. It's been a very exciting season, thrilling racing in all 3 of the opening rounds of the season, dominated by Vytautas Lagutskas, but it's not over yet for Isaac Price. He is still in the hunt for a championship. He needs something terrible happen to Vytautas, but it is he still has a mathematical chance. But there are plenty of other drivers capable of spoiling Vytautas Lagutskas' perfect season. Many of them would like a win today. Some of them haven't raced yet this season. Eoin Kattila here today, behind the likes of Dennis Lind, Gabber, Isaac Price. So in it to win it, but Vytautas Lagutskas in the catbird seat to take a championship win. There you can see him at the top of the heap with 316 points, well clear of Isaac Price in 2nd place. As we scroll through the remainder of the order, more than 40 drivers have taken points this season. More than 60 drivers have taken points this season. Many of these on participation, but you can see plenty of points there, owing to finishes somewhere in the order in the opening 3 rounds. Eoin, we have cars on the track in the background, a little bit late getting through the graphics, but we'll pick up qualifying in just a moment. There you can see the Teams Championship. Yes Motorsport there at the very top, ahead of Team Citus. They picked up a new driver a couple rounds ago, but not enough to clip the top spot held by Yes Motorsports. And there you can see all the way down the order, 21 teams have taken points in the Teams Championship in this 2024 GT2 Challenge season. Let's go to the action in the background. Cars should be coming across to set times now. In fact, we've been running long enough. I think we have a slate of times already. We do. Eoin Kattila, we might have guessed this, Eoin. Eoin Kattila at the top of the heap, minute 51.66.
Oh, spinner in the background there. Yeah, just behind Julio Martins. We had a spinner, but no harm done, I believe. So yeah, it is Yanni with the very first benchmark for everyone to chase. Number 90, Liznerski was the spinner there, just to be exact. Yeah, now Mantas Malkovicius does better. He's found an extra half a tenth, so he has put the number 8 on provisional pole.
Mantas struggled a couple weeks ago in Kyoto. Mantas so experienced and so talented in these cars. The race did not go his way, but looking for a much stronger start and a much stronger race today, certainly helped by having provisional pole position there, 700s clear of Eoin Catilla, who is not far ahead himself of Isaac Price and Vitalis Lagutskas in the Bucks, the bus, the FXR, there in 4th position, with Gabber rounding out the top 5 as we pick up Isaac Price. Pink and white machine approaching this left-hand corner now before he negotiates the next right-hand, almost hairpin, and comes on to the back straight.
Yeah, in this reverse configuration, Vitautas loops it. So with the 4-wheel drive, he's able to catch it. So,
stylish save.
Yeah, stylish for sure. But yeah, that's not an ideal sign for a driver who's looking for a clean sweep of victories in 2024. He's got the hat trick so far. But yeah, everyone in the pits and barreling in as well behind would be Darius Brzezinska. So he will have to deal with that and not repeat that in the race too quick.
Carlos Machiotis had such a strong performance in round 2, a top 10 at the Rockingham circuit. Not as strong last week, struggled a little bit, but looking for another good finish today. We cannot look at Carlos's car without also making mention of these very cool onboard feeds. This being streamed by Carlos, and notably in chase view. Chase view straight into pit lane, hard on the brakes, practicing throwing the binders on and getting the car as efficiently as possible into pit lanes. We pick up Gabber on the way out now, looking to improve from 5th position, but not too far off the benchmark time by Mantas Malkovicius. And now we look to Eoin Catilla, who would like to retake that provisional pole position.
Yeah, any one of those 6 drivers who are in the 151 cutoff, they all have a realistic chance of perhaps getting a top 3 start or getting onto 2nd row and 4th either. Yeah, I think the 151.50 would be probably the strongest time possible. And it's probably just the 2 or 3 drivers at the moment that could possibly do it, if not Mantas himself. And there's Tiefenbacher, just giving him a look now as well for Born to Race. Their hopes of finishing any higher than 3rd, they also seem pretty remote, but yeah, they're going to give it their very best shot, as we know they always do. And independent driver Stephen Martin in his SM racing car there, also ready to give it his best shot, but he has a lot of competition as well. He's got Sim Racing Polska in front and Frag Masters behind.
Eoin Catilla coming around to start a flying lap. We can see him weaving and heating up these tires. Not in it for a championship, but Eoin certainly one of the drivers more capable of taking a win here in GT2 Challenge. Winds up into this final left-hand kink, full throttle, 5th gear. He's in the XRR today. XRR we would expect to be very strong at this circuit, maybe marginally better than the FZ, owing to the slightly better top speed, overall top end power in the XRR. Now approaching the initial braking zone, wide onto the left side curbing, all the way into the corner before he gets on the brakes, about halfway around that first apex. Now nice and tidy, misses the second apex, a little bit wide of that, maybe half a car width, but still nice and clean on the exit. And now this very long run under the bridge, skipping the chicane there on the left. Now you can see the cones in the way. As he approaches the bridge, full song, just past it, he'll throw anchors overboard. Now all the way down to the curbing on the left, just misses the bollard, uses all the road on the right. And now very late braking into this corner and up over the curb as much as he can to hook the car around. But he's going to go wide over the curbing on the exit. A little bit of dirt on the tires, but he'll scrub that off. A few moments to relax as he comes under the second bridge that leads exterior traffic onto the infield of this circuit. And now very difficult this direction in this chicane. Slow every apex. Lift the throttle here, a little bit more out of the throttle here, on the brakes, less throttle here, but still in 3rd gear. Wants to get on the power early, and he does just over the curbing on the exit. Plenty of power down, maybe sacrificed a few hundredths there going over the curbing with the left rear tire. Fully on the curbing on the right, just clips the bollard on the left, all the way up on the curbing. Perfect exit early in the power, and now this is almost wide open. We'll see if Eoin can He does. No lift. Over the curbing on the left side of the road. No dirt on the tires. Well within the margins of the circuit. And now another full throttle corner if you're brave. Nope. Dab of the brakes. Out of the throttle. Straight back into it. Just over the curbing on the left side, nearly loses the rear of the car. That will cost him another 500ths or so. And now misses the bollard on the left, wide open easily here. Keeps the car tight to the right side of the road as he comes down the hill. Gravity assisting, not good enough for Eoin. On the brakes and into pit lane, spoiling another one of my commentary laps. Owen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Travis. You gave it 10 out of 10, but unfortunately, the canvas in front of you just fell apart at the end. So just one of those times. But yeah, I loved watching that. It was really good.
Me too, Darius Vasinskis out on the road. Up, we'll jump back to Imran Azar there in the XRR, recently minted Sidus driver. He looks good in purple, white, and gold, I would say, Owen. Coming through this right-hand bend now and just misses the grass on the left side of the road. That corner, either direction, requires immense bravery because it is almost wide open either way. But it is so easy to lose the car there, especially if you dip a tire over the curbing. It can come unraveled very quickly. A lot of time to gain there. Improved from 6th to 5th. Imran Azar did.
Hey, we have Cahill Crorkin running the probably a little bit extra green to mark the special day. So yeah, nicely observed there from Crorkin. And we'll see if he can improve from 15th. No, this will be his outlap, I'd say. Sorry, he's on a flyer now. So, was his flying? Excuse me. So he doesn't improve from 15th. But yeah, he improved his time. That's fair enough. Yeah, but didn't actually gain any positions with his teammate Ayub just in front of him. Yeah, it is very tight in that cutoff from 11th down to 16th. Very, very close. Now, Nico Pantola, Travis. Let's see what he gets on.
Yeah, Nico Pantola, no slouch in these cars, has struggled a bit this season. Haven't seen him near the front very much. We'll pick him up in just a second. On the topic of improvements, Isaac Price did just jump ahead of Eoin Catilla on the standings. You can see that Eoin's been demoted to 3rd. Isaac Price 200ths ahead of Eoin, but Mantis Malkavicius still the top time, minute 51.59 seconds. We're still looking for Nico in the background while we watch David Godge. David, a pretty good lap so early on in the running, 12th position for him, minute 52.76 as he looks like a Sidus car going through. No, that is not a Sidus car.
That's
Nico. It is Nico going through the black Sidus car with the cat livery on it. So David Godge doing us a favor by leaning out of the throttle and letting the faster cars through, so we get a glimpse of Nico. There he is. We got him, Owen.
Here we go. He needs to set a representative time. And so far, so good. Oh, just a little bit too wide on turn 9, I think that is. Yeah, he just caught it in the nick of time. Or turn 8, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, Nico, I don't think he'll take this lap, Owen, unless, well, he hasn't set a lap yet at all. And I'm sure, let's see, if we look down the order. Well, the slowest time ahead of him is a minute 56.36, and I suppose he's lost enough time. Well, and more now. He had lost more time than would get him further up the grid than 33rd. However, though this may look a little bit frustrating from the outside, the rules dictate that you cannot telepit, you cannot spectate from the circuit. You have to be in pit lane to do that. So Nico, wasting a little bit of time pirouetting on the circuit, driving the car into the barriers, has to drive all the way into pit lane before he can pit and try one more time. I think, Owen, he'll get maybe 2 more attempts if he's out and then in quickly.
Yeah, if he's on the ball, he'll manage to squeeze into flying laps. Yeah, he really does want to nail at least one of the laps. And of course, if traffic plays a factor in the final sector, then yeah, you've very little wriggle room. You'd be sure to get a bit of a bump if you're not timing your slipstream correctly. But on board with Paul, provisional pole sitter Mantas Malkavicius. He has a fairly clean track for the moment with Cyril Bisset just in the distance, so he really shouldn't have a problem there. So we'll ride on board beneath the bridge now. And yeah, this is a competitive time once again, but yeah, he still needs to solidify that front of the grid start. Yeah, he cuts a little bit of the turn 6. It'll be the left-hander. So yeah, he was taking a lot of risk, but it didn't put any discomfort onto the car whatsoever.
Not at all. Notably, it's two interesting facts we can share about Matt Smolkovicius here. One, very obvious, right side drive. I think is the only one that I have seen so far. There certainly could be other ones, but the only one that I can recall running around a right side drive car. And then he takes a ton more curb in turn 4, the right-hander that leads on the back straight. Most everyone getting a little bite of it to help hook the car around, but he is fully up on it and just missing the bollard. Is it the difference? Oh, it is not the difference. Owen, as we've been talking about Mantis Smolkovicius, this man right here has gone to the tip top.
This is crucial with Gabor among the best of the rest in the championship this season. Yeah, P3, as a matter of fact, he hasn't really had the chance to go for glory with Leguskas just taking all the trophies so far. But to end the season on a high and guaranteeing a strong finish ahead of Darius Brzezinskas, Yoni Katila, etc., that would be a solid outcome for him. Yeah, he knows he needs an extreme stroke of good fortune just to stand a chance.
He does indeed. Speaking of competitors near the top of the order, all of the drivers that we have seen at the top of the order competing for a championship win this season have set times. Gabber, Mantis Smolkovicius, Isaac Price, Yoni Katila, Vitalis Lagutskas there at the top. Notably, Dennis Lind, pole sitter 2 weeks ago, has set one time. There, where is he? 8th position. Dennis Lind has set one lap and good enough for 8th position and has not gone out to set another lap.
Yeah, so yeah, Dennis, similar enough story for him this season. He was absent in the first round, so his objective is to, as he spoke to us 2 weeks ago, he wants to be the best. So anything else is a letdown. So if he can get close to the top 5 or even closer to pole, then yeah, that would suit his objectives. But yeah, the championship is well out of his reach. So the best result he'll be aiming for would be to leapfrog a lot of drivers in the championship. Now we'll join Isaac Price on his bid to get onto that crucial pole position.
Yeah, Isaac Price has warmed up the tires, coming around now to start a flying lap. He's in the right-hand bend here. Will want to wind up full throttle. The smallest input he can, carry as much speed through this bend right here and then down the hill. Nice and easy through the sweeping corner as he approaches the very bottom of the course here, lowest part of the circuit, under the gantry now. A little bit of traffic ahead of him, a little bit of traffic there on the right, easily clear of that. Into the first corner, again, jumping on the brakes, a little bit early on the brakes though, and it looks like a few other drivers quite late on the brakes, but Isaac, oh my goodness, beautiful line through the first corner. Very, very stable, level hands, using the rear of the car to get all the way around that first right-hander, turn 2 after the turn 1 sweeper. See where he jumps on the brakes here under the bridge, just past the 100-meter board. A little bit wide of the bollard, but still nice and smooth. Very smooth driving from Isaac so far on this lap. And we'll see if he climbs the curbing like Mantis Smolkovicius has done. He does, not quite as aggressive, but a healthy bite of it. Very nice line through the corner. Smooth sailing for Isaac Price through the first half of the circuit. Not much drama, but less dramatic is often most quick. See how he negotiates this ever-slowing chicane. Good bite of the grass on the right, all grass on the left, and now all the way down to the grass. Doesn't quite touch it on the right-hand side as he pops out. Approaching turn 8 now. Very clean from Isaac Price so far. Three major corners to go. All the way down, just missing the grass on the inside and the outside. Perfect lap, or so it would seem, from Isaac Price so far. Beautiful shot on the right side of the car. Inch perfect. Isaac, if this isn't it, I don't know what could be. At the top, Yoni Katila has matched Gabber's time. That'll be good for P2, minute 51.55, as we watch Isaac Price all the way down to the grass, all the way out to the grass. This is, I cannot recall having seen a more perfect lap from any driver. Millimeters away from the margins of the circuit as he comes out of the final corner now. Full song, full throttle down the hill. If this isn't it, I don't know what could possibly be. Across the line, and it's not enough. 51.59. He matches Mantis Smolkovicius, so level with Mantis in P3. Only good for P4. 400ths separate the top 4. Oh, and this is nuts.
Oh, it's incredible. Absolutely stunning stuff. And the top 4 drivers, yeah, they're barely able to separate whatsoever. The two-way tie for first and the two-way tie for third. And then, of course, we have Vytautas Laguskas, who wants to seal the deal with the championship in P5, just about 2 tenths behind. Imran Azar, of course, they're also in the 151s. And then a lot of competitive drivers just hovering outside in the positions 7 through 10. So, yeah, absolutely wonderful stuff.
So Isaac will not have time to set another lap. Gabber is on a flying lap right now as time runs out, so Gabber could improve and solidify his top spot. I've not looked down the order to see who else is on a flying lap, but Gabber, as I said, definitely wants to improve here using all of the circuit on the way in. He uses the rear of the car to get the car around the corner so effectively, inch perfect there like Isaac was. The difference between these drivers on track and Eoin and I here in the box is that neither of us could possibly conceive how you go quicker than Isaac's lap. That looked so good. Yet, 2 drivers have done it. Gabber coming around to the final corners now, pitches the car in, just missing the curbing, but very, very nicely on the exit early in the power. Nice and smooth through the final bend now. Great shot. Car just obscured by the timing tower, the booth there, as he comes down the hill and across the line. Gabber, does he improve? No, he does not. Still on minute 51.55. That is good enough for pole position unless somebody comes through to unseat him. So Bogdanar Villeneuve crosses the line, will not be taking the top spot. Jeff Jakob and Sebastian Tiefenbacher further back on circuit, looking for other drivers crossing the line. Sean Lee crosses 13th now. Does he improve? He does not. So Sean Lee will start in 13th position. Let's see, Cathal Crooken into the pits. Jeremy Greed will be coming across the line in just a moment. No improvement from Jeremy Greed. And now Ivanov, believe, is the last car that can set a time, though he comes straight into pit lane. And there we have it, Eoin. Very, very tight at the top. Gabber on pole position, minute 51.55 seconds.
Yeah, it is extraordinary stuff, and it really does set up our season finale in the greatest possible terms. And of course, yeah, so many outcomes are possible, but yeah, we do imagine Vytautas Laguskas will just be watching and trying to win on strategy if he's in 5th place. So yeah, it's absolutely wonderful stuff there. And the tie for pole, but Gabor, by setting the time first, has the priority. So congratulations go to him. And of course, he won't have to worry about the highest climber bonus this time. So yeah, brilliant job.
Yeah, as Eoin said, equal times for the first row and also the second row of the grid. Gabber in pole position, minute 51.55. Yannick Attila alongside. Mantas Malkevicius will start behind Gabber, minute 51.59. Equal time to Isaac Price starting 4th, who starts ahead of Vytautas Laguskas, his championship rival. Vytautas Laguskas just needs a good result. He doesn't need to win, though he would certainly enjoy finishing the season with perfection. Alongside Imran Azar, Sidus driver in 6th, Darius Brzezinskis in 7th, alongside Dennis Lind. A disappointing qualifying session from him, but we know he's strong in the race. We'll see how he gets along ahead of Daniel Lukostic and Dan Bala rounding out the top 10. Nico Pantola starts in 11th with Arias in 12th, Sean Lee 13th, Carlos Machiotis. Good qualifying form from him in 14th. Cathal Crooken, another Born to Race driver in 15th, ahead of Ayub El Nanouni 16th. David Gudge starts 17th, alongside Savas Nierka, ahead of Bogdanar Villeneuve, and rounding out the top 20, Lishnerski. And now the rest of the order, Jared Mead in 21st, ahead of Juliar Martin, Zdenek Stagash, that is Monka in 24th, Jeremy Greed in 25th. Courage, new driver today. We welcome him to the grid in 26th. Reg LeBlanc just behind him, alongside Cyril Basset. Magic in 29th. Yari Katilla, the elder Katilla, there in 30th position. And then at the back of the grid, we have Sebastian Tiefenbacher alongside Jeff Jakob. Ivanov alongside Stephen Martin. And at the very back, another newcomer. That is the number 99 of Rudy, minute 56.36, easily inside 105%, to say nothing of the 107% rule. 35 cars on the grid today for the 2024 season of the GT2 Challenge. And there you can see on the screen where we have been all over the virtual world. Well, 2 parts of it anyway. 3 in the virtual United Kingdom and 1 in Japan. 4th round today at the Westhill International Reverse Circuit without the chicane. Very high-speed racing, many long straightaways, a lot of medium and high-speed bends. As we wait in the background for the drivers to do their briefing, perhaps we can talk about strategy today, Eoin. We got a little bit of inside information once again.
Yeah, I'm sure we have. Yeah, so the matter of fact is, a lot of drivers will be conscious of the tire life. We saw how treacherous it was between going the no stopper and stopping once back in Kyoto. So it could be a similar case today, but the wide open nature of Westhill means it could be another case of safety cars at a minimum. So a lot of drivers will be fueling up near to the top, and they'll be just conserving their tires, whereas the others might be trying to go aggressive, gain a few places, put into the pits and push on to the end. So that's where the strategies are, I believe. So yeah, here are the cars on display, the 3 chassis we're running. So
and we know some drivers very, very good at taking care of their tires. Others have struggled. Gabber notably had 3 of them pop at Rockingham. Whereas 2 weeks ago, I think everybody expected Vitalijs Lagutskas to use up all 4 corners of that FXR, but he made it to the end just as other drivers behind him were losing tires here and there. Higher speed and more high-speed corners here than we had at Kyoto. So, as Eoin said, the tire strategy, tire life will be the call today. Do drivers decide to go aggressive, short fill, use up the tires, make it a one-stop? They try to stretch it to the end. We will see. I think a very exciting complexion to what has been an exciting complexion to the conclusion of what has been a very exciting season.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you've been treated to absolutely exceptional competition. I know it's been important to put in the best show we can for the broadcasts, and we've got the highlights packages from Sean Lee once again, so we thank him for that. He has to balance practicing with actual editing work, so we really do appreciate that. Whereas myself, I raced in 2021, including in the very stressful but still enjoyable 6 hours around Westhill 3 years ago. So it is 100% commitment for me in the commentary box this year. And Travis, it's also great to have yourself on board as well.
Yeah, I tip my cap to you because I have not driven GT2 in, I think it'll be 15 years now. So I have no idea what I'm doing apart from talking about it. As Eoin said, we do have the highlight reel from Sean. Thank you once again, Sean. To show everyone, we'll roll that now. Welcome back, everyone, to round 3 at the Kyoto Ring GP Long Circuit of the 2024 GT2 Challenge season.
Green flag, we have a race.
This is it. Drivers 3, 4, 5 wide in the background.
No,
yellow flag.
No, off goes the car stick into the turn 1 barrier.
Oh, and another collision. And brilliant move, an aggressive send, but cleanly through. But Isaac Price bump drafting Borislav Botev. Dennis too late on the brakes. Dennis too late on the brakes. He gets into the rear of Borislav Botev.
Sean's really in trouble, Travis, I'm afraid. He's burned up that rear left tyre.
Dennis Lind, with the benefit of the slipstream, easily take the racing line.
Right front puncture, as a matter of fact. So this is trouble. Slide us. Without a doubt, brilliant drive from Vytautas Lagutskas. Neck and neck through turn 8. They won't yield whatsoever.
Oh, they moved down Fatula Malik. Fatula Malik was side by side with the first corner. Oh, can you spin? Johnny, can you spin? Is that me?
He was in the middle, 3 wide. What a move by Isaac Price.
We are back, drivers, readying up in the background for the 4th and final round of the 2024 season of the New Dimension Racing GT2 Challenge. I'm joined once again by Eoin Harmon. Eoin, we're getting ready to go. We got a couple more things to talk about, some business to conduct before drivers go to the grid and then roll off for the formation lap. First one, championship standings. There is just a championship fight left in the 4th round. Vytautas Lagutskas in the catbird seat. He is poised to take the championship, but Isaac Price is not completely out of it yet.
No, he certainly has every chance. If he wins, it'd be 376 points, barring whatever bonus points could be on the table. Maybe Vytautas wants the highest climber. If it's a sort of routine race, you could get +4 positions or +3, and you could get that extra bonus, but that seems unlikely. But we're heading to the grid, so it really is just a race where Isaac Price, he's got to win this race. Wind speed 18 kilometers per hour. I just saw, as I say, Isaac needs to win in reality, and Vytautas has to finish probably outside the top 5 to really stand a chance.
He really does. Wind, since you mentioned it, Eoin, I expect that will figure in today. You can see the flags on top of the building there are, they're a bit more vibrant. They're a bit more active than usual. So it's going across the circuit. So in
Green
the
flag
final
for
high-speed
formation
bends, that might be a bit tricky for these drivers. We did not see if that figured into qualifying, but obviously could figure into the race. Watching the drivers file past the camera now. This amazing shot. We love this. We've the fourth time of asking. We've seen this in GT2 Challenge. It featured in, I believe we featured this in GT4 first. So every round of GT2 and every round of GT4, this incredible picture of all of the cars rolling off from that nice angled grid past the camera and out onto the circuit. This is one of the little touches that we enjoy so much about presenting these events.
Yeah, we really do love it. It really does bring back a lot of positive feelings when I was in the bottom half of the queue. So yeah, it is absolutely spectacular for the cameras. I'm sure the drivers enjoy something a little bit different. It means that you're not usually thinking about where you're going to be pictured on the grid after the formation lap. You're way off in the pit lane, having to think about a lot of your surroundings as well. So it does spice things up a bit.
Also nice, especially with all of the action that we see in these races, for everyone to get their time in front of the camera, even if it is for a few fleeting moments. We get to show every one of these drivers who put in a lot of time, energy, practice, heart, soul into making these events what they are. So we thank them for their time, their effort, and for their entertainment. We do enjoy watching this so much. And once again, we have a full grid, 35 cars on the grid today. So there will be action up and down the order once more here in the NDR GT2 Challenge. About halfway around the circuit now as we watch these cars filing under the bridge, the very back of the grid now, going under the Westhill signs. Gabber weaving behind Stuart Baker. Drivers not forming up yet. They will around the next corner, perhaps the one after that. And in just about a minute's time,
Safety
we will
car
be
lights
off and
up,
running
tire
to
cease.
conclude the season. There you can hear the call from race control from JP1, Jonathan Palmer. Lights out on the safety car. Gabber will lead the grid down the hill and to the green lights for the final time of asking in just a moment. Eoin, one more time, I will hand it to you to bring them around the final corners and down the hill to the green lights to kick off another round, the final round of the GT2 Challenge season.
Yeah, may the sun rise to come meet you. This is the moment where we've been building up since the opener. And yeah, it is the moment of truth for the championship. Vytautas Laguskas has the prime position. He just needs to finish ahead of Isaac Price, and he guarantees it. Or else a very strong top 5 will do it. Yeah, he'll be watching his championship rival with intent. He's to his eye line to the left. But of course, Gabor will have the priority into turn 1, the right-hander. Here we go. You can see it just in the horizon, and it is the great moment of the GT2 challenge. The formation lap is done. Just hold a bit more past the red flag line. Green flag signal. We're away. The final round of Vytautas Laguskas has picked the inside line himself, so he ducks straight away to try and put Isaac Price under a bit of pressure. And here we go. What a start.
Cars 3, 4 wide in the background, filing down to 3 as they come through the first corner. Great jump, as Eoin called it, by Vytautas Laguskas. Yannick Attila alongside, still 2 by 2 here at the very front. They run where they started. Gabber doesn't quite have an edge as they come down to the bridge. The Born to Race drivers working together. A little bit of slipstreaming, a little bit of bump drafting. I believe those two should go to the front. Sorry, it is not 2 Born to Race drivers. Yoni not driving for Born to Race. Is Yoni through, still alongside Mantas Malkavicius. And it looks like Mantas Malkavicius has the advantage now. He does, through into the lead. Ooh, Yoni a little bit wide over the curb. Gets into Gabber. Gabber going backward.
Yes, here we go. We got our split times coming. And just a moment. There we go. Dennis Lind has taken the lead.
Sorry, Eoin. Yeah, Dennis Lind into the lead. The timing tower wasn't updating, and not entirely sure why. I was confused calling that Mantas Malkavicius because he doesn't have the pink tires. Dennis does. So, well, that's a question we can ask at the end of the race. How Dennis went from 8th to 1st in the opening lap. Incredible.
Oh, Mantas with a small bit of understeer there. He's able to catch it. He's got a lot of intense pressure from Nico Pantola behind. So yeah, absolutely exceptional lap. Donington Park, eat your heart out. That was incredible from Dennis Lind.
So then, do we think, Eoin, is Dennis on a one-stop strategy? That was such an aggressive start. Perhaps he is, if he's carrying half the fuel mass that other drivers are, he's streaked away into the lead. He's got a 2.5 lead on Gabber of all drivers at the very front of the grid.
Oh, Careless.
Yeah, Careless up from 14th to 11th.
Oh, no.
Now gives away one of those positions.
One. Oh, a huge crash spell in the air. Zdenek Sagac out of the race. He's gone over the catch fencing. Oh, my word. I would have to study that one back, Travis. Yeah, that's devastating.
It is indeed. Shame for him. There was speculation in our ears that we might see a safety car for an accident that big, but if he's gone outside the confines of the circuit, I would argue that the car is in a safe position. So we continue racing as it is. Vytautas Laguskas there behind Mantas. I once again apologize for the incorrect call there. And there we have, that's a Citus driver. That is Imran Azar putting a wheel off and fighting with, that is a Yes Motorsports driver ahead of him.
Oh,
and
more
2 cars
contact.
off the background.
Dan Balla. Yeah, Dan Balla, race green. He's gone off with Mantas. So yeah, a lot of change. All of a sudden you'll see it pop up on the sector line. So a lot of intensity on show from these drivers in the mid-pack. Yeah, and there you can see a side-by-side just in the middle of the screen there. Mantas trying to fight his way back. And Sean Lee's got a better run on Ayoub. So yeah, Sean Lee has the inside line into turn 8, but he can't possibly make it count. It's just too quick of a corner.
Mantas Malkavicius from the front of the grid and tumbling backwards. Someone outside the circuit, that's Arias, who has gone on the other side of the fence. So out of the way, not entirely sure how that happened, but that car is badly damaged. Mantas going backwards. Ooh, at the front, Dennis nearly drops it over the curbing there, coming around turn 10. Heart-stopping moment from him. He did lose the car there during the last season of BF1, just put a wheel wrong and looped the car into the fence. Still carrying a comfortable lead now, 2 seconds over Gabber. I was about to say that Mantas Malkavicius, bad to worse, this week's race starting to look like his race 2 weeks ago in Kyoto, where He just had no luck, getting bullied backward once again. And now looking at Jeffen Jakob going by Tiefenbacher into the first corner. Job done. Nice and wide out to the curbing and easily through into 22nd position.
Now we look at Zdenek Sagash, who went tumbling, feet and feet in the air. He landed onto back on his four wheels, and he's got the car limping around, so he has yet to have a chance to get repairs. And race leader Lind, thankfully, will not catch up to him on time. Now Cathal Corkin's made a superb start, and Lukashtik is just trying to block him as hard as he can, using the benefit of the bump draft. And Imran Azar as well. He's got to watch out for what's going on between the Frag Masters and the Born to Race.
Yeah, Careless looks like he has, is that Sean Lee behind it? It is Sean Lee harassing Careless Machiotis. Careless started 14th up to 11th, had a brief off, and then recovered those positions. So nice job from Careless Machiotis to recover those positions after an excursion in the grass. And now here we have a trio of Born to Race drivers. That is Ayub Elanuni, Menis Smalkovicius behind him, and Savas Nierka following this three-car Born to Race train. Someone gone off ahead. Gabber has gone off.
Yeah, this is a gimme here for Isaac Price. Crucial for the championship bid here. He's going to use that slipstream, then guide his car to the outside. Then it becomes the racing line. And Gabor, just one small dip in concentration or a dip on the grass, and that has denied him a chance holding on to second place. So, yeah, Isaac Price on his mission to deny Leguskas the championship. That is a big move early goings, Travis.
It is, but he has his work cut out for him as the race is running. I will confidently predict now that Dennis Lind is on the aggressive one-stop strategy. He has set successive fastest laps on each of the second and third laps of the race. He now has nearly a 4-second lead over Gabber, who did yield a little bit of time fighting Isaac there after his excursion into the grass. And looking at the condition of their tires, Dennis's much more temperature in them. So I believe that Dennis is pushing as hard as he can as Eoin is going around the outside of. Yeah, Villeneuve in the gravel in the background. Eoin has gone through. Oh, and Bosnar Villeneuve is stuck working the tires. That car slowly coming backward. Vitalis Lagutska still side by side with Eoin Katila while we wait to see what happens with Bosnar Villeneuve in the background. And Eoin holds on to fourth position, but Vitalis Lagutska's once through.
Bozadar has had no fortune getting out of the gravel trap, and he's begging for some sort of attention with the race control.
This is terrible luck for Dennis Lind if he's decided to go with an aggressive strategy. I would expect him, still no safety car call. Does Dennis come in and take tires so that he knows he's got 4 laps done and he's decided to stay out? Sorry for the interruption there, Owen. Course car comes out. They'll just knock him free without a safety car.
Yeah, Dennis Lind is just passing by this very second. So, yeah, yellow flags will be alerted to all the drivers on the scene. So, yeah, thankfully, Bozadar has a chance to retake to the circuit, but he has to wait a long time because there's very few gaps in the traffic. Yeah, and Cathal has made a mistake. Nikan Patola will want to take full advantage of that into turn 3. The long run down past that chicane that is sometimes used here at Westhill, so it should be a inside line here. Cathal stayed a little bit later on the brakes, but it backfires, and he's lost that top 10. And Mantas got his teammate also, so Mantas, he's wanting to work hard to reclaim all those positions. Yeah.
Mantas very cleanly through that corner too. Nice and early on the power and up and on as Jared Mead is off the circuit. Oh. Ooh, that was evasive action. Very nicely done by, I believe that was Monka, who he nearly collected. Tiefenbacher who went by there. Jared Mead, well done to hold the brakes and stop the car as soon as he could and then not roll through, but ended up in a precarious position there right in the middle of the circuit. Well held by the drivers avoiding him. Eoin now has a little bit of room ahead of Vitalis Lagutskas. Vitalis doesn't need to fight for these positions. He is well on for a championship the way he runs right now, and I don't expect. Well, I mean, drivers certainly like to race, and everyone wants to win, but he has his teammate there behind him, running a little bit of interference, we might say, or would perhaps run interference for Vitalis Lagutskas. The FXRs running line astern in 5th and 6th, as we pick up Nico Pantola once more there in 10th position, who is once ahead of Mantis Smolkovicius, so is still ahead of Mantis Smolkovicius, so Mantis was right on him as they went on to back straight. Now a bit of bump drafting by Born to Race teammates, these two fighting one another into the first corner, trying to catch Nico Pantola.
Another potential pass here for Jeff and Jacob. He is really on a mission today, Travis. Another superb pass. Lijnerski, yeah, he's got no counter to that. And just behind Kuruc, he's just in the background there. But no, yeah, here comes Lijnerski again. So there is a counter attack after all. So you got a better run down the hill.
Side-by-side racing under the bridge and onto the brakes into the third corner, and that will be not quite done. Carlos Macioidis has picked up a couple more positions since we looked at him. This is now going to be 3 wide as they come under the bridge. Carlos Macioidis in a sandwich coming into the first corner, has the inside position on Mantis, but Mantis gets the job done on the outside. Carlos not giving up. Carlos fighting all the way through, retains the position just a nose ahead, but now I think, yeah, there we go. Yeah, Mantis Smolkovicius gets the advantage coming into the next corner, and now Nico Pantola will slot in behind Carlos Macioidis. Though Carlos a little bit wide of the apex there, Nico Pantola is going to fill up his mirrors. This is a tricky position to pass. Nico thinks better of it, decides to slot in line, and that will allow Mantis Smolkovicius to stretch his advantage on Carolus slightly, though Carolus now has a bit of space himself on Nico Pantola, who is defending from behind on Cathal Corkin.
Indeed, yeah, and Sean Lee has a lot of momentum himself. He's able to keep on the power, whereas Cathal has to modulate the throttle as he reacts to whatever Nico does, and there's a bit of a mistake from Pantola. So, yeah, a little bit of a chance here for Corkin to use the XR's sheer power, but now he decides another bump draft is the better way to go. So, Corkin just sitting in position, perhaps waiting for a better chance to overtake.
While we watch this fight, at the front, Dennis Lind is running as quickly as he possibly can. He is consistently half a second quicker than all of the cars around him, though I watched him nearly drop it coming out of the third corner now. Off he goes down the back straight in pursuit of another fastest lap as we look at Sean Lee do the crossover on the brakes. A little bit late on the brakes. Cathal Corkin even later, thankfully for him, did not get taken out by Sean Lee, who was crossing the racing line there. And that compromises Sean Lee's line through that complex. Good power on the way out, so he's still in the slipstreams. We look back from Carlos Macioidis to Nico Pantola, who would really like to get through. Great running so far from Carlos Macioidis, up from 13th or 14th on the grid into the top 10.
Yeah, and Cathal probably hopes Eoin and Savas come to help him. With B2R strength and numbers, and yeah, this could be the exact opening. Yeah, so yeah, here we go with Sean Lee. Yeah, so Cathal went off, so yeah, Sean Lee ahead, and a chance for Cathal to get some help now to fight back, and more battling with Montagitis and Pantola, so they switch places as well.
Yeah, the theme down the order here as Nico looks to the inside and tucks in once more is just how easy it is to make mistakes around this circuit. One tire dipped over the curbing can compromise you so badly, and these corners are so quick, and especially when you're following in a line, these cars do require a little bit of downforce to stick to the tarmac, and when you're following that closely on margins so thin, it is so easy to make a catastrophic mistake. Looking at the back of Carlos Macioidis' car, there on the inlay, that is his onboard view. He does run in chase cam. We apologize on his behalf for putting these nauseating pictures there in the picture-in-picture. As Nico Pantola, you should be able to see him there. We do. That is one advantage of this camera view. We can see Nico Pantola when he arrived on the scene. will jump on the brakes as they come under the bridge, and I think this is job done for Nico Patola. It is over the curbing, and through he goes into 10th position.
Yeah, thank goodness the rear end stabilized in time after he took a bit of a glide over the curb. So just in the undulation, the car looked like it could have looped into a spin, but no, thankfully there was enough grip to catch that moment. And Maciej Klimczyk in the pits as well. So a fair few drivers perhaps at the back of the grid want to pit, but in case Martin's, I believe, retired, so Martin's out of the race.
And Magic is stopped with a significant amount of damage, so he has been off somewhere and back on, still stationary. Now throttling up the machine. He should be going once again, but I believe he'll be doing this perhaps in the way of Dennis Lind. No, he's well up the racetrack, so he will not be impeding any of the drivers out on the circuit. As we look at Zdenek well down the order now. And I believe Zdenek is a lap down. He is. He's a lap down on Magic and the rest of the drivers ahead of him after a big early incident that sent him tumbling. We pick up Dennis Lind starting at the 9th lap of the race now. Gap has stabilized slightly, so Isaac Price, in fact, I think Isaac is slowly reeling Dennis in. So Dennis, I think, gambling on these other drivers having to be very conservative late in the race to manage their tires. Dennis has thrown caution to the wind and decided he will run qualifying laps or near enough as he can. On board with Gabber in the inlay as we watch this side-by-side action. That is Reg LeBlanc fully alongside through the corner. And that is Reg LeBlanc losing a position. Or sorry, that was Jari Katila maintaining position on Reg LeBlanc.
Yeah, precisely. And of course, Tiefenbacher and perhaps even off in the background could come into play in this position battle. It's 23rd on the line with Jari Katila in possession of it. Courage has had a loop and damage to the rear left quarter panel, so he's had a crash, and there we go. Yeah, he is crabbing, so it should be an easy pass very soon for Jari and Reg coming up. Perhaps a turn 4 be the best opportunity. His car will not turn properly to the left, so maybe to the right would be okay. Oh, Reg, opportunism. Oh, he's made contact. Oh, I like the idea, but that has paid. Oh, he's hit his teammate. Jared tried to spot the gap, and Jared hits his teammate. Oh, it's Steve Martin in backwards also, so a lot of trouble here at turn 4.
Yeah, I think this will keep the stewards busy for a little bit. That was I'm gonna say that was a little bit naughty with the trying to drive the crabbing car at full racing speed. Courage driving a stricken machine. Then a bit optimistic from Reg LeBlanc, I think, to try to pass the stricken car, which will have been difficult to drive, and then the chain reaction of other cars colliding behind. I think the stewards had a pretty quiet and easy job up to that point, and now on the 10th lap of the race, they have a little bit of work to do to sort that out. Looking at the leader now, Dennis Lind, gap stable 5 seconds back to Isaac Price. Behind them, Imran Azar is closing on Darius Rzinskas. He's only a few tenths behind. Vitalis Lagutskas has cleared his teammate by a ton. That is a 2 or 3 second gap now. So Vitalis Lagutskas comfortably in a championship winning position as they run right now, while his teammate Darius Rzinskas has Imran Azar to worry about. Daniel Kostic there in 8th has a little bit of room on either side, front and back, while Mantis Malkivicius tried to recover the positions he lost early on. Well, that will certainly help Mantis Malkivicius. Daniel Lukastic off into the grass there, and a little bit late into the power. We'll keep an eye on Mantis Malkivicius. I expect he will be fully under the rear wing of that car in just a moment as we look to Careless, who has lost a position too. That'll be Nico Pantola ahead of him, so Nico Pantola was able to get through while we were looking at action elsewhere on the circuit. And now back from Daniel Kostic's car, Mantis Malkivicius is fully on the scene and hunting for 8th.
Mistake from Cathal Crorcan, and Ayub will be guided through safely there by his teammates. So now Ayub has the chance to lead this Born to Race trio. Just a small mistake, getting too close to the grass out of turn 7. So yeah, that's just a little bit of disappointment for Crorcan, but yeah, he's still well in contention, and I'm sure he can shrug that one off, no bother.
All right, so having concluded the 10th lap, 10 laps of the race gone, 10 of 41, Dennis Lind is still in the lead of the race, now 5.3 seconds ahead of Isaac Price. The pace at the front has stabilized. All of the drivers in the top 4 running pretty close times. Dennis, most laps about a tenth or two quicker, but otherwise pretty close. Dennis definitely on an aggressive strategy. The tires are running much hotter than competitors around him, so we believe he is on low fuel. There you can see on the screen, Reg LeBlanc will have a drive-through penalty for causing a collision. We saw that a moment ago. Darius Verzinskas now fighting Imran Azar for 6th position. That is, Darius lost the position, is now fighting for it. Imran Azar must have gotten him into the first corner. A little bit of contact there. And this fight has not concluded. Darius Verzinskas is going to try to get the better line and on the power earlier out of the corner. He does.
Yes.
Wow. Brilliant power out of the corner. The front wheel's doing a lot of the work. And this is where the XRR will shine. Now that they're in a drag race, I would expect Imran Azar to be fully alongside him coming into this chicane. It looks like Darius Verzinskas holding his own, has the inside line. He will retake that position that Imran Azar held for less than half a lap. I was saying at the front that Dennis definitely on the aggressive strategy. Would expect him to stretch his legs slightly as those tires come into their optimal working condition while he's on lower fuel. But whether he can make a gap remains to be seen. Cathal Kirkin now coming by. That is Cathal Kirkin looking to take
this is
position
a loss.
from
Yeah,
but slots in behind.
Yeah, so he is losing more places. Dambella and Savas Nierka both through in the last lap. But yeah, this is definitely a worrying time now. I thought you would have had it okay, but yeah, those drivers behind have put Cathal back down to probably where he qualified. Maybe he's down -1, I think, from his qualifying slot.
This fight not over. Imran Azar with the Malaysian flag on top of that machine looks very good. Imran Azar looking to take a position while there is a fight behind him. Mantas Malkavicius is through on Daniel Lacoste. At the front of the order, Dennis Lind has set the fastest lap of the race. So the fight that we were watching, two fights in the same camera view, trade positions. As Imran Azar, I think Imran got a little bit of help off the circuit there, Owen.
Yeah, a small bit, but he can try again, I'm sure. Dive bomb, you'd be tempted. No, it's just a little bit too iffy with this corner, the way it pitches, and there's
someone in the dirt.
Mantas, or sorry, it's Maciej Klimczyk again, struggling after having to pit. Now he has to pull over. Verzinskas uses all that slipstream, and Mantas Malkavicius on his comeback drive in between there with the blue flags helping a little bit, but no, it's just too hard to overtake when you're not side by side into the chicane.
And I think the XRR top end features here where Imran Azar able to hold that position with Mantas Malkavicius, the benefit of the slipstream, not able to get alongside coming into the final corner. Carlos Macioidis still has plenty of Sean Lee to worry about. Sean thinking better. Carlos Macioidis was as high as 10th, now fighting for 11th position, fighting to hold 11th position from Sean Lee. Spirited battles up and down the order. A little bit of a mistake from Sean Lee there.
Oh, Yanni spins! Yanni spins at the second to last with Laguskas taking that position clean as you like. A big mistake from a top contender. He has to just wait. Oh, this is a horrible moment to spin it. Oh, he's sinking. No room whatsoever.
And he's in a terrible position there, too. Like, ideally, he would reverse up the racetrack instead of trying to rejoin on the racing line and come around the outside. But there's a big enough gap there in the... Yeah, he's in the final corner coming onto the main straightaway. Great call there, Eoin jumping in and seeing that. Yeah, huge and uncharacteristic mistake from Eoin Kitila. That will almost certainly dash his chance of winning unless he gets a little bit of help from his competitors and perhaps the officials in the form of a safety car. So now Eoin on the one-stop strategy that he had not, perhaps had not intended, well down the order.
Carlos Matajitas and Imran Azar battling hard again as Imran is struggling. Sean Lee! Oh, how did he pull that off? Oh, unbelievable. That's how you do it.
Sean Lee trying to take an opportunity as Imran Azar has gone backwards. So Imran Azar must have gotten together with either Daniel Lukostic or Mantis Malka. Imran Azar was fighting Darius Brzezinskis, so they have clearly come together there. Sean Lee trying to do the job on the outside. He does. Carlos Machiotis thinking better of fighting Sean Lee in the middle of a corner. Brilliant move from Sean. Full opposite lock as the rear of the car tries to get away from him. That will allow Carlos Machiotis to get alongside. Sean Lee has to jump in behind. Carlos up to 9th, just like that.
Oh, it's really coming of age, this race. So much going on. But of course, yeah, in the championship battle, Laguskas is the beneficiary, gaining that position from the unfortunate spin for Yanni Katila. But Yanni on fresh tires, perhaps he can go full pelt like Dennis Lind has been and gain some fastest laps for himself. He'd be tempted to go to the end on this strategy and see what could unfold. But yeah, it's a long way back for him. And Carlos Matajitas in 9th, getting just the narrow advantage over Sean Lee.
We'll tip our caps to Carlos Machiotis, who has kept a level head among all of this action. Yoni has switched to R2s. Yoni has switched to R2s. So, sorry, Yoni was already on R2s. I'm getting confusing calls in our ears. Thank you, Pete, for that. So, yeah, Yoni was already on R2s, still on R2s, perhaps may have made a pressure change to drive on them a bit more aggressively as we look at Mantis Malkuvicius, and I have more size in my ear throwing shade at Pete. He doesn't appreciate it, and I want everyone else to enjoy it too. Still more side-by-side action. Sean Lee, that is Imran Azar, recovering that position. So Sean Lee demoted to 10th, Imran Azar through to, that'll be Imran Azar has taken 10th. Timing is not updated there, my apologies. This shows Imran Azar in 11th now. So, okay, not entirely sure what's going on here. I think we're waiting for position to update as your countryman is off once again, Eoin.
It's really unfortunate. On road booked, the poor thing, Oscuelga. So I hope he can perhaps think of an alternate strategy and save this race for himself, because it has really gone apart from him.
Now Sean Lee has a born-to-race driver, that is Ayoub El Hanouni behind him. Ayoub would like to break into the top 10. Bit of a struggle this season has been for Ayoub El Hanouni, who is otherwise so strong, especially in downforce cars. Sean Lee, good run here, still lurking behind. This fight has calmed down a little bit, but any one of these drivers could make a tiny little mistake, which we have seen them do virtually every lap of the race so far. Sean carrying so much speed into this corner, while a driver ahead puts a wheel in the grass. So Sean Lee should be fully in the slipstream of Imran Azar ahead of him, as we look once again to Mantis Malkuvicius, who is trying to swipe 5th position off Darius Brzezinskis.
No, not quite able to do it there, Travis. Turn 1 is really such a high speed corner. You carry a lot of speed into it, of course, and then you have to slow even more into turn 2. That's where you can really sneak something if you're being clever about it. But if anything, Isaac Price is being perhaps balked a bit by the traffic. Number 17, Kuruch, has perhaps given Gabor a lifeline after he lost that 2nd place. Cork and pits, so yeah, he does decide plan B is for the best. Now we check out Malkuvicius. He's got another run on Brzezinskis, and the side-by-side contest, it will be advantage to the FZR. Yeah, Darius realizes it 100%. Great pass.
Great pass indeed. FZR power just enough, even though the FXR got a little bit of a boost before the 3rd round in at the Kyoto circuit. They got a slight break on the intake restriction, but even so, not quite enough to compete with FZR power coming down that long back straightaway. Mantis Malkuvicius recovered nearly to where he started the race, up to 5th position over Darius Brzezinskis. Looking back to Dan Bala, one of the race green motorsports machines. Behind, looks like a, believe that is a born to race car ahead of him. It is indeed Savis Dierica.
Yeah, so I suppose since Crockin lost those moments in the top 10, it has been stable with AU pulling clear of Savisus. Oh, he's almost done a Yanni there. Oh, he did catch it in time, but Dan Bala, oh, he does watch his mirrors there and pulls off the move on the outside. and will clear any threat of a major slipstream. So that's opportunistic driving done to perfection there by Bala. Really good job.
Yeah, aggressive move to the left side of the circuit to quickly break the slipstream, and opportunistic, as you said, easily through up into 13th. And there's a gaggle of cars ahead of him. Looking further back, Reg LeBlanc, who was stricken early alongside the elder Yari Katila. Looks like this is a job done. XRR over XRR. And on his way he goes. Yep, he has indeed cleared Yari Katila. That'll be good for 27th position.
So he served that penalty, of course, for the incident with the number 17 crutch. So yeah, the chance to fight back. Yeah, it's certainly believable that he can make up some places. But what needs to be done now is to catch Stephen Martin ahead. And then, of course, Rudy from Romania, our newcomer in the yellow car. He's having a very quiet, but it's paying off. A quiet race, but it's paying off for him so far. He was towards the back, but he's now 24th.
Settling it down a little bit, which Eoin and I welcome. There is so much action going so much of the time that when we have a moment to breathe, we fully appreciate it. So we'll reset the order. At the tip top, Dennis Lind running fast laps, and he's getting into qualifying lap territory now. Previous lap, he set the fastest lap of the race with a minute 52.82. He runs 7 seconds ahead of Isaac Price, who needs a win to have any chance at a championship victory over Vitalijs Lagutskas, who runs in 4th. Gabber there in 3rd ahead of Vitalijs Lagutskas. Mantis Malkivicius runs 5th. A great recovery from him after he tumbled all the way down to 13th or 14th position. Darius Verzinskas in 6th ahead of Daniel Lekostic. In 7th, Nico Patola runs 8th ahead of Carlos Machioidis. Great drive from him. And Imran Azar rounds out the top 10, not too far ahead of Sean Lee, who is only a couple tenths back. We may have a fight to watch on our hands there.
So double whammy here for Born to Race. First on screen, we just see the end of Daniel Bala performing a beautiful pass. And then, of course, Cathal Corcoran has been penalised for crossing the pit exit blend line. So he will lose even more positions. And now, Nico Pantola, can he hang on? Yes, it looks good to me. One last chance for Lekostic. Oh, there's going to be a side-by-side hit there. So that loses the momentum from the Fragmaster's car, and Pantola pulls away. Great pass.
Yeah, an optimistic defense there by Daniel Lekostic to try to hold the outside. Nico Patola gives him a little bit of a bump, and Daniel Lekostic has to yield. Great drive from Nico Patola. Disappointing season for him so far, but very promising today in 7th position. He looks to be on for a strong result. As we look at Dan Ballard now, very strong 12th position from him. Dan, no slouch, having much better luck today. Ahead of this run of Born to Race drivers right behind him. He worked his way onto the curbing. Imran Azar not too far up the road from Dan Bala, has Sean Lee in between them. Sean Lee lurking there behind Imran Azar has been for a few laps, and the two of them closing on Carlos Machioidis, who really wants nothing to do with it. He's given himself a little bit of room to focus on his own race, but he cannot quite shake those two drivers. As we pick up Eoin Katila now, recovering from an early spin Eoin so brilliantly saw and called. Eoin was demoted from 3rd or 4th, I believe he was running in 3rd position, all the way down to 20th, picking up positions here and there, but a lot of work to do cut out for him to get a strong finish. And now we look at Imran Azar once more. Sean Lee not quite in the slipstream, at least not enough to make any hay as they come into the first corner. And Carlos Machioidis will be the happier for it. Brilliant shot looking down from the virtual helicopter as these cars negotiate that first sweeping bend, turning on the brakes into the second corner, and this very long straightaway that skips the chicane under the bridge into a couple slow corners, and then back onto the very long back straightaway. Brilliant shot as they streak under the bridge, hard on the binders now into turn 3.
Yeah, that battle will continue to be waged, as we can see Kuruch there in the white. He's well aware of the blue flags, so he can just carry on with his race. His objective is perhaps the whole position as Maciek is trying to catch him up, but at the moment the gap is still too big. But yeah, the top 10 is really, really important if you can get it. And Sean Lee is currently the odd man out. He wants to get that 10th place off Imran Azar. So, yeah, it could all... Yeah, this looks much better now. Imran has a superb run. perhaps turn 8 is not the corner he needs at this moment in time. Carlos shows a lot of respect, giving him plenty of room. And turn 9, again, is nearly flat out in race trim. But of course, quali we saw, it is a flat out corner. Yeah, actually, it is still flat on race fuel. And now Sean Lee looks to have done the best of the bunch here. Just closing the gap, Travis.
Is indeed lurking behind Imran Azar. Would love to swipe this position. A lot of respect being shown by Sean Lee. We're accustomed to seeing somewhat aggressive and optimistic moves out of Sean Lee, but showing a lot of patience today. Dennis Lind has set fastest laps on successive laps, now down to a 52.5, so he is well into a qualifying lap that would have gotten him close to the top 10. Trying to extend his gap over Isaac Price, but he's not getting away very quickly. Isaac Price still running laps near 53 dead, so Dennis Lind half a second quicker on the previous lap, but that won't be enough to preserve the lead when he does ultimately come in, though his equipment now in optimal running condition. He will get quicker and quicker until he decides to stop. Looking at Imran Azar once again, this fight not going anywhere. Neither driver giving up too much position, too much space on the track. But again, one small mistake could completely change things. Imran Azar, great run out of this corner. Makes a little bit of progress on Carlos Macioides ahead of him, and he might just be in the slipstream. Eoin, no, I don't think he is. He'll need to get a good run out of the chicane and try it again in turn 8.
Yeah, precisely. But now we head to the start-finish straight, and Jared Mead has pulled off the beautiful pass on Zdravko Ivanov. And yeah, Jared wanted to put it all on the line when he saw his teammate parked on the apex after that multi-car incident. Unfortunately, didn't pay off. But yeah, he is taking the lead now for Angry Angus. And Ivanov wants to fight back nice and firmly here. Down the hill towards turn 3. It'll have to be a turn 4 double switch here. So let's see what the drivers do. Jared's going to cook it very, very hot into the corner, but he catches it. Small wobble there. But yeah, it doesn't allow any way past for the number 71.
Number 71 has a bit of slipstream here, though, so this fight may not be over yet. Looks like Jared got a better run out of the corner, so he will not be. Yeah, I think he will easily hold this position. We see a little weaving back and forth across the circuit to try to break the slipstream, though not necessary. He holds the position. Looking back now from Carlos Macioides once again. This fight has stabilized, but all three cars closer to one another now. Imran Azar easily in the slipstream. Sean Lee is as well behind Imran Azar. I think this could pop off at any moment.
Yeah, it absolutely can, but it will depend on a multitude of factors. Obviously, Carlos is the lead car, so if he makes a mistake, then Azar will be first to jump in and take the position. Perhaps a bit of a distraction could put Azar off, and then Sean Lee could have a chance to dip in and have a pass, or else Sean could fall off the cliff and have to regain, leaving it in a 1v1 situation. So yeah, just a lot can happen, but these three drivers in identical machinery, I'm sure they have a lot of trust and respect for each other, and it shows as this battle just will not end. No one's taking any necessary risks.
As they came into the chicane, we saw Daniel Lekostic flash by in the foreground, so the three of these drivers, I would argue, working together pretty well to catch Daniel Lekostic in P8. Carlos Macioides about 2 seconds back now, but I believe slowly reeling him in. Great shot down on Imran Azar, the Malaysian flag atop that Sidus machine, as we watch Rudy come into the pits behind Dennis Lind. Dennis, who is stopped, decided now was the time. He's halfway through the race, so clearly decided to go with the split fuel strategy. Tires and fuel for Dennis Lind, stationary for a long time. He will be tumbling down the order, waiting to see where he comes out. That is Daniel Lekostic going by, so he'll come out behind this train. Imran Azar is alongside Carlos Macioides as they flash by Dennis Lind with Sean Lee behind. This might be a three-way fight into the first corner.
Yeah, Carlos will use the inside line of the double apex and hangs on for the moment. But yeah, it's important for our now deposed race leader, Dennis Lind, that he didn't end up directly behind these battlers for position. He has a little bit of an opportunity to warm up the tires. But now on the outside comes Imran, and he's holding as hard as he can. Just needs to brake one more time, better than Motojitas, and he has a position. There you go. Now worst exit. So now Sean Lee is going to be right on the case, on board. The bumper cam, you can see inside with the bump draft there. Now Sean Lee perhaps has a chance to overtake Azar. No, he won't take it this time.
I tip my cap to Carlos Magioides. He is driving with immense poise to keep these two behind him. Both of them aggressive drivers. Sean Lee perhaps more so. But Carlos Magioides, though he is arguably just the slightest bit slower than these two, I think if they got through, they would probably creep away from him. But Carlos Magioides, great drive from him to hold his own and keep this 8th position. Now, Dennis Lind has rejoined in 13th. I'm a little surprised he stopped when he did, so hopefully we can get a word from Dennis Lind. The tires still had plenty of life left in them. I'm going to guess that he decided to go 50-50 on fuel and expected the tires would not last quite as long as they did, or perhaps he caught traffic and instead of trying to fight through the traffic, just got in and out of pit lane. Back on R2, those tires already up to temperature. He's got his teammate Ayoub El Hanouni right ahead of him. So we would expect Dennis Lind to carve up the order and swipe a few of these positions, though he has a long way to go to get near the front of the race. He is 30 seconds off the lead that he held one lap ago.
Yeah, so he has to gain perhaps 3/4 of a second each lap to stand a chance of winning this race. But first up the road, Ayoub El Hanouni with the red alloys. He'll be pushing as hard as he can to try and see if he can put Dan Balla back behind him. But yeah, at the moment that Dennis Lind is in touching distance of Ayoub, then yeah, the signal will definitely be given, and Ayoub will pull aside because he knows how important this is for Born to Race. Just to say, they are definitely the 3rd best team in this season's GT2 Challenge. Oh, Balla, yeah, too close to the grass, I'm afraid, and it could be a small boost to Ayoub's chances.
And I think, yeah, Ayoub certainly helped by Dan Balla going off in the grass there, but Dennis just close enough behind Ayoub that I think he's got a sniff of the slipstream. So this will help pull Dennis along until he can make his way through. Dennis closing on his teammate very quickly through the chicane. Cathal Crooken now fighting Jari Kutila further back behind this battle. Cathal Crooken ducks out of the slipstream. Plenty of power and overspeed, easily past the the XRR of Jari Kutila into the first corner.
That's right. So Cathal, yeah, he will have fresher tires from that pit stop, and he puts them to use. But now, what he needs to do is just keep on drilling those good lap times in. He was in the 154s, so he can catch up to Stephen Martin, who's next up the road.
Meanwhile, we have not talked about this man at all, apart from saying that he is in position to seal his championship victory. Vitalijs Lagutskas, after all of this, no drama once again. Drivers giving him positions. He runs in 3rd, the no overtake please on the back of that machine. And he is not far off the lead. If he wanted to make it a perfect season, he could certainly attempt it. 3 seconds off the lead and just a second and change behind Gabber in 2nd position. Great result as it runs for Gabber. He has struggled a bit during the season. Now on for a podium. Oh, you can see the cars working through the chicane here with the stationary camera shot. Brilliant to see the cars loading up the tires and the body roll up and over the grass and the curbing as they change direction. Vitalijs Lagutskas just so good in the FXR. Everyone complained about the FZR being OP at the beginning of the season, and Vitalijs Lagutskas, I think, has proved everyone wrong. Dennis Lind through on his teammate. Not much of a fight given by Ayoub El Hanouni there, and Dennis goes off in pursuit of Dan Balla, looking for 11th.
Now this is a scheduled pit stop for Reg LeBlanc as we speak, so I believe he has the chance to pull in. Oh no, he didn't change. Yeah, there we go. The very last pit box. He made us wait for that. He changed his tires and will fuel up, no doubt about it. And he'll be put a lap down by our podium sitters. and perhaps even the other drivers in the top 10 if he's going long on that fuel stop. Yeah, so Gus, the current holder of fastest lap, he just has to keep doing what he's doing. We check out Steve Martin. Oh, he's made the mistake, losing the back end, and there was no battle there, unfortunately. Yeah, Steve Martin almost lost his throttle completely. So, yeah, thank goodness the engine's still running.
Monka through on Nierka. Nierka yields the position. That was easily done in the slipstream and on the power down the straightaway. Wide line from Monka, a little bit too late on the brakes, eager in the power through the middle of the corner, and all the work done. He now has to do again. That will be Nierka about 4 or 5 seconds up the road as Monka finally recovers back onto the tarmac.
That's unfortunate for Monka. Yeah, he hasn't really had his chance to be on the screen, but yeah, that was almost a genius pass, pulled off brilliantly, but unfortunately just missed out on the slow turn in for turn 2. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but he'll carry on, having just lost that position he originally gained.
We look forward from Imran Azar once again. Carlos Macioides he had a brief respite from our cameras and our commentary on his very strong driving today. Imran Azar right there with him once again. Nice dab of the brakes. You can see how well the car ahead works on looking from this view, the overhead on Imran Azar's car. Careless, just a dab of the brakes to get it to turn into turn 8, now through turn 9 with a lift, no brake. And we'll see if he pitches it in a full song here. Assume he'll give it a lift, perhaps a dab of the brakes. Just a dab of the brakes to help the car turn in, fully over the curbing. Nice exit. Ooh, left rear tire up and over the curb. Careless, well held. The rear of that car wanted to come around with a puff of the dirt, but he is on his way unharmed. And looks like he may have extended his gap ever so slightly. On Imran Azar behind him, Vitalis Agutskas once again in the bus, comfortably in 3rd position. No urgency at all whatsoever to try to take 2nd, let alone 1st position. He is on for a championship victory as they run right now. Mantis Malkavicius, great recovery. A little bit of help from drivers falling by the wayside ahead of him. Now back up to 4th position after tumbling early on, getting bullied by other drivers off the circuit. Nico Pantola, great day for him. A bit of bad luck earlier on in the season, up to 6th. And now we look back to Carlos Macioides, who is slowly catching Daniel Lacoste ahead of him. That gap, well, he's yielded a little bit of time since we last looked. That gap was just under 3 seconds, now right at 3 seconds. Carlos Macioides holding his own. Very strong performance from him in 8th. Not far behind them, Eoin. Dennis Lynn is catching Dan Bala. Reg LeBlanc is a lap down, but he'll get a little bit of help from the slipstream. On the pace they're running, I think Dennis Lynn has a realistic shot of catching up to Careless and maybe Daniel Lacoste, but it will be a lot of work indeed to get all the way up to Nico Pantola in 6th.
Yeah, for sure. Now here's Cyril Bisset in pit lane for service, so he's also on the low fuel one stopper. So we'll see now. He's just about to be lapped, as a matter of fact, I would say. But this is his best drive so far since he signed up to participate as a newcomer from the get-go. So yeah, he'll be yielding those extra yards to race leader Isaac Price.
Scary place to do it, but well held by Isaac to see what was transpiring there and get safely around the outside. The gap at the front closing slightly. Pretty stable to Gabber. It's been about 1.3 to 1.4 seconds, but Vitalis Agutskas is taking a few hundredths every lap. Looking on board once again with Gabber. The red dot over the Twitch icon means that he is live on Twitch using that handle. Go give Gabber a follow if you enjoy his driving. We certainly do. And we encourage as much of Gabber's driving as we possibly can. So we thank him for giving us the onboard footage that we can put in our inlay, and definitely do go give him a like. Up and over the curbing now, pitching the car into the curbing. Missed the curb on the entry to the corner, a little bit wide of it, but took plenty of grass in the middle of the corner and easily into the power and on his way. I think he'll give up a hundredth or two to Isaac here. Vitalis Agutskas loses a little bit of time, so I think that's pretty stable around 3 seconds. But once again, no urgency at all from Vitalis Agutskas. He is on for a championship victory as they run. Isaac Price in the lead, needs to win and needs a miracle behind. A miracle in the form of Vitalijs Lagutskas tumbling down the order and sacrificing a lot of points.
Sean Lee pitted and we didn't catch it, but I'm looking at Savasys Nierka. He's going for a dive bomb on Mocha and makes the pass into the chicane. And yeah, that should be clean as you like for P13. Yes, it is.
Yeah, nicely done. Easily through with a couple car lengths to spare. One of many born to race drivers in the event today. I believe they have brought 5 or 6. Looking down the order here. Oh, Isaac off.
Oh,
Isaac
no.
off.
He's been hit in the back by none other than Vitalijs Lagutskas. So all of a sudden, Gabor is race leader, and Vitalijs has a chance to seal the deal and put an exclamation point on this championship season. He's going for it. He's going for it. Oh, not quite.
Yeah, so Vitalijs Lagutskas ended up right behind Isaac Price when he went off at the first corner. Looking back, Carlos Macioidis was alongside Daniel Lacostic, so Daniel Lacostic clearly also made a mistake that allowed Carlos Macioidis to get alongside. Vitalijs Lagutskas now looking behind Isaac Price. Isaac Price will be sick seeing the bus in his mirrors. He has been so frustrated by the FXRs being so performant. Forces Vitalijs Lagutskas onto the grass. Vitalijs Lagutskas not having any of it, holding his own side by side, has to yield in the middle of the chicane. So it's gone bad to worse for Isaac Price. He had a coming together with Dennis Lind 2 weeks ago in Kyoto that ruined his chances of taking the win. Vitalijs Lagutskas inherited victory there, and now he has made a mistake on his own, as far as we can tell. That now has put him into the clutches of his championship rival, who has only to hang out behind him in the third position. Gabber will be thrilled being promoted up to the lead. A difficult season for him, lurking near or just off the podium, and now in position to swipe a win off arguably more experienced GT2 drivers.
Yeah, I suppose Gabor was our pole sitter. It's easy to forget because Dennis Lind came out of thin air to take first place after the first lap. But yeah, Gabor back in the lead after setting that pole position time. That was better because he set it first. And yeah, it is a reprieve, I'm sure, after that one mishap gave Isaac the position originally. But yeah, Dennis Lind, that's encouraging signs for him if his nearest contenders for the win have lost some time. But here's the battle for position between the two drivers driving in white, but independent of one another. It's crutched through on Stephen Martin.
Coach through easily, has taken a lot of damage on the front of that car. Vitalijs Lagutskas forced off by Isaac Price there. Vitalijs Lagutskas looking side by side through the first complex of corners after the bridge. Now in the slipstream, Isaac Price has to be very frustrated with himself, and now having Vitalijs Lagutskas alongside once again. They'll go side by side. Vitalijs Lagutskas thinks better of fighting all the way through. They are teammates. Vitalijs Lagutskas in the Yes Motorsports machine. Isaac Price calling himself Maybe Motorsports, but we know what maybe really means. It means yes, he is Vitalijs Lagutskas' teammate. And Vitalijs, again, doesn't have to fight. I think probably having a bit of fun while Isaac is kicking himself for putting him back into the clutches of his championship leading teammate. On the topic of Dennis Lind, who, as Eoin reminded us a moment ago, streaked into the lead of the race from an 8th place start. He is not making any progress on Dan Balla. Dan Balla running very well there in 11th, behind Jared Mead, who is 1 lap down. Jared Mead is a back marker. Dan Balla setting very competitive times, and the both of them slowly losing time to Gabber in the lead. That was about 30 seconds from Dennis Lind up to what was Isaac Price at the time. And that gap now 34 seconds. So Dennis, if his strategy was to run hard and then do it again after a pit stop to drive up to the lead of the race, it has not come off for him. Dennis Lind runs in 11th and appears like he will stay there unless what we believe was his prediction, that the tires will fall off for all the drivers ahead of him, comes off.
He needs something to happen in the final quarter of the race, to be honest. Hasn't shown that electric pace since making that pit stop. But of course, yeah, Dennis Lind can never be ruled out. He will go for it until there's no more race to go for. And yeah, we've more contests here as Zdravko Ivanov has to be lapped here. It does help Isaac though, because he has pulled out a little bit of a gap on his teammate and direct championship rival Laguskas. So yeah, a little bit of a boost there for Price. He's been quicker on this lap thus far, but only narrowly.
It's our second time seeing Zdravko Ivanov there in the background now with the leaders going through. Newcomer, I believe, this week. I think this is his first entry into GT2 Challenge competition, so we welcome him. Thank him for joining. And we're thrilled to see another Zdravko. Obviously, Zdravko Toponiak, well known in the community and a co-commentator some of the time. So thank you, Zdravko, for joining. As we see Vitalis Lagutskas now giving Isaac a little bit of room, a little bit of help getting through the back marker, a little bit of help from one another off the circuit once again. Isaac Price has some room to breathe, but this is only adding to Gabber's lead. Gabber 3 seconds up the road. Last time through the splits. We'll see what it looks like when these two come under the gantry for the 30th time. About the same, so they didn't give away too much time colliding with one another.
No, I suppose not, but yeah, Isaac is he's relieved that he has no more side-by-side battles to deal with. Imran Azar with another opportunity to pass, and this one looks straightforward to me. Lukashtik, he's not got the speed on the start-finish straight, so if he can slow it down this time, Imran Azar will be in possession of 8th place.
Worth noting, I think these two may have touched one another, or both of them made a mistake, because we just saw him go through the foreground of this shot. Carlos Matioitis now has a healthy gap on Imran Azar. This was a battle for a long time with Sean Lee not far behind. Sean Lee stopped, took a new set of tires, he took one service but not the other. I cannot recall which now. Either way, Sean Lee in pit lane, away from this battle, and now Carlos Matioitis stretching his advantage on Imran Azar. So comfortably in 7th position. Carlos will be thrilled with that. And he is off in pursuit of Nico Pantola, who is not far up the road. Nico Pantola only 2 seconds and change from Carlos Matioitis, so Carlos fighting for a P6 finish. Mantas Malkavicius here has Darius Verzinskas. No, that is not Darius Verzinskas. He's just gotten through some back markers. So Mantas Malkavicius, difficult season, very challenging race in Kyoto. Difficult start to this race, and now has some room to just run on his own and put in good laps.
Yeah, that's what he needs. And if he keeps this going, then yeah, a top 5 result is in his command. So that's... yeah, we'll see exactly how he's comparing to the drivers in front of him. Personal best for Laguskas there, 152.8. Mantas gets a 153.2, so he's not quite at that class, but he's really, really close. So yeah, keep up the good work.
10 laps remaining, and Eoin, I think a story is starting to unfold here, and that is tire strategy. So I've looked down the lead. The lead 10 cars, and Carlos Matioitis will definitely have to stop. These tires will not go 10 more laps. And as I look up and down the remainder of the top 10, they're looking a bit thin. So I am beginning to wonder if maybe Dennis has or will pull a blinder here. He has fresh rubber that he can push hard to the end, and I think the other drivers they could struggle. It is going to be close.
Gap has increased for Dennis Lind. It's 36 seconds, I think. So, yeah, it's not going to plan. So we need some sort of drama to take place to really make things count in his bid to win from P8 on the grid. But we follow now as Laguskas. This looks a lot better for him. Comparing split times, he's just 3/100ths better off, but it makes such a difference when you look at it on the head-to-head, on the physical head-to-head, I suppose. So yeah, this could be the slipstream that'll help Vitautas gain a little bit more time back on Isaac, and we'll know for sure A little bit of a dip to boost the cars even more.
Once again, Vitalis Lagutskas championship leader, and as they run, will be champion. I think one other thing he will accomplish with this performance this season is compromising all FX drivers in future seasons of the GT2 Challenge. I expect to hear cries of OP with the intake restriction the officials have configured on this car because he has been so strong. 3 wins from 3, and now running in 3rd position today. Perhaps a little bit of tuning and adjustment in the FXR's future. Though he has been by far the best performing FXR driver. Darius Vizinskas has not been far behind in any event. Darius running in top 5, top 10 in many events, but Vitalis Lagutskas using the FXR to such great effect that perhaps it will draw a bit of attention from competitors and officials alike. Carlos Magiotis heard us talking about his tires and pops into pit lane. He will be taking tires and fuel 10 seconds faster than Dennis Lind stopped. So Dennis was stationary for a long time, perhaps did not intend to fall as far back as he did. So we've got more questions to ask Dennis, who is now right there behind Dan Bala, looking for a top 10 finish. Now Carlos Magionis drops to, well, that is 9th now, but I think it will, yeah, that will, as the timing updates, there we go, 11th position. Dennis promoted to 10th a few seconds up the road. Oh, now 12th one more time. So waiting for the positions to finally update as Carlos Magiotis comes through the timing lines. And as the race draws toward its conclusion, tires again will be the story. We need to start looking closely at all the leaders, Eoin, and see how we believe this will shake out.
Yeah, I'm seeing probably what you were mentioning, Travis, there. I think most of the drivers have probably just about enough in hand with a fastest lap there from Isaac Price last lap. So yeah, I think if they carry on this pace, they will be okay, but it's going to be really razor thin. And Cahill, his comeback drive here, he gets a simple enough team order there. Stefan didn't want to contest that whatsoever, but race leader Gabor, there he is, ready to put both these drivers behind him as soon as possible. So yeah, it's just got to be patience. Patience is the key here with those two teammates. They want to try and partner up as best they can, but they have to put that to one side when the sidest driver laps them.
Dennis flashing the headlights at Dan Bala as though Dan Bala is compelled to get out of his way. Dennis has to do the work on his own. This is a battle for position.
Sean Lay, is that Sean? No, it's Zdravko even off in the gravel. He's got out though. Excuse me.
No worries. Yeah, exciting moment there. That could have completely changed the race.
That's what happened to right front puncture.
Ah, interesting. So it's it has begun to happen for drivers who have not managed their tires as well as the leaders. Dennis Lind, great exit out of turn 4, fully alongside Dan Bala, and he should have job done here. He does. Dan Bala yields on the entry to the corner. Dennis Lind through. This will become 9th position when the timing updates. But Dennis Lind 37 seconds off the lead. Clearly stopped much longer than he intended to be, so we'll hopefully we can get a word with him at the conclusion. Dennis, a recently minted, not new to commentary, but recently minted sim broadcast commentator. So I think hopefully he will enjoy the opportunity to come chat with us once again at the end of the race. Gabber once again in the lead, 1.6 seconds clear of Isaac Price. This gap has closed a second and a half or so in the last lap, so maybe Gabber put a wheel wrong. Vitalis Lagutskas has fallen back slightly from Isaac Price. Mantis there in 4th, running his own race all by his lonesome. No cars ahead or behind. That's a beautiful feeling. With Darius Vizinskas just popping into the background, rounding out the top 5 there in the FXR. Partner 2, Vitalis Lagutskas and Isaac Price up ahead of him. Imran Azar still lurking in the background. Daniel Lacoste has fallen back since Imran Azar swiped that position. And it'll be a minute until we see Dennis Lind. There he is, well in the background, just ahead of Dan Bala, who he just swiped 10th position from. Dennis Lind, this race not going the way he had hoped. Looked very good early with a blinder of a start from 8th to 1st, and then streaked off into the distance. but the strategy has not paid off. And I think now the best he can hope for is perhaps an 8th place, maybe 7th place position if drivers ahead of him are caught out by an overly optimistic tire strategy.
Yeah, but he'll get slipstream off Jari Katila here. So he goes on blue flags. So he's got to find 7 seconds on Lukashtik to stand a chance. And yeah, Gabor on course to convert that pole position into a win. I suppose given how the season has gone for him, he wouldn't have expected it. No matter how good he is, it's just best of the rest really in P3 in the championship. You would have thought it was a straight fight between the Guskas and Price, but he's almost there. And then another point in his favor, as you can just see the pink of Isaac in the background, is that Gabor has a slightly better tire life remaining. So yeah, he just needs to stay composed, and he has that extra oomph in his hands. And now Crorkin will be lapped here. It's putting Gabor a little bit on edge, but yeah, this should be his chance to get the Irishman behind with the lap. There we go. You pull over, and there's the move done, Travis.
Nicely done by Cathal Crorkin, showing everyone how blue flags work. Dips out of the way with just a breath of the throttle to let Gabber through, and then back on race pace. And he should expect we'll see him jump out of the way once again once Isaac Price and Vitalijs Lagutskas are right there with him. Should allow them through without impeding. Gabber's tires, they're looking in somewhat better condition than Isaac Price and Vitalijs Lagutskas behind, but with 5 laps remaining in this race, when Gabber crosses the line, I'm manufacturing some drama here, Eoin. I will bow to it. It looks like it will be awfully close for these 5 drivers. For these leading drivers.
Right you are. Now Isaac, he's already got fastest lap. Priority now, he just needs to pull in to the under 1 second margin. Perhaps can Crorkin give him that extra slipstream. It's a 1/10 of a second better off, so it's so close. If this carries on, then it will be a 1/10 of a second or so advantage to claw in. Yeah, it's going to be really, really close. Isaac knows the championship is out of his hands now. It has to be Laguskas off the road to make any inroads here. But what would help is just the way he wants to end the season, and that's on top. So if he can get this win, Isaac, then yeah, he'll concede the championship, but he will get what he wants, which is another GT2 Challenge win. Oh, he's wide.
Yeah, these big slides through that corner and then off in the grass are not going to help him. I think Cathal Crorkin was ready to jump out of the way. He does anyway, but that big slide is going to harm the rear tires on Isaac Price's car and pull him back into the clutches of Vitalijs Lagutskas. Isaac cannot escape, nor can he make any progress on Gabber. And another big slide through the chicane there. Perilously close margins from the leaders. Sean Lee is now through into, I believe this will be 15th position now. That is Jeff and Jacob that he has just passed. So good performance from Sean Lee. A little bit further down the order, but he's also made good progress after a pit stop. So nicely done by him to claim 15th position. Looking at Isaac Price once more. And as the laps wind down, tire strategy is the story. For all of these drivers' sakes, we certainly hope that they can make the distance. But the margins are getting pretty close. The thin tires on Isaac Price's machine starting to cool off, so they're coming to the last part of their heat cycle, and we have 4 laps yet remaining when they cross the line. Sorry, this is beginning of the 37th lap, so 5 laps remaining.
Jeff and Jacob doesn't want to give up here. His chance to fight back against Sean Lee, it's possible, but at the moment he needs to use that extra pace on his tires that have gone the distance so far. But yeah, Sean Lee, on the longer term, he has them in the heat peak. So yeah, he just needs to calm it down here, using a bit of the inside grass to pitch the car through the corner. But now turn 9 should be smooth. It is indeed. Yeah, it's certainly heroic that Jeff and Jacob can keep up with a one-stopper. But it really is a matter of fact of he will have to really push on with the closing laps to stand a chance.
Of the top 8, Daniel Lekostic and Mentis Malkovicius are the only ones I would say are not in any danger with tires. Daniel Lekostic's are getting a little bit cold, but I think he has plenty of margin. The others getting pretty close. As you called it, Imran Azar right there under the rear wing of Nico Patola. On the topic of tires, Imran Azar's I think are probably the worst condition. Now pulling out alongside, back marker jumping out of the way. Nico Patola leaning out of the throttle, I think thinking better of going 3 wide. That was probably a late decision by the back marker to get out of the way. Allows Imran Azar through on his sidest teammate and up into 6th position.
We'll see Brzezinski's split time because he has let these Sidus drivers catch up to him. So we'll see exactly what's going on when he crosses the split line before the Eoin tires. So yeah, he has made a mistake for definite on the lap, with Azar clawing in nearly half a second on him. Isaac with another fastest lap. So his ambitions to win the race, they are well and truly on. He's under that 1 second margin. He will push on with everything he's got to try and end the season on the best possible terms, without the championship to go with it, because of course Joe Holmes was the winner last time out.
And he must be confident that his tires will make it the remaining 3.5 laps, because at this point he has the only thing he can do is push and hope that they will last, because he cannot stop now to take tires. He has to push, he has to win to take enough points to even have a chance at a championship victory here, with Vitalis Lagutskas right behind him in 3rd. Oh, he catches the back marker in a terrible spot. Jeremy Greed got out of the way of Gabber. Yeah, I think just bad luck there. Jeremy Greed doing a good job getting out of the way, and just kind of unlucky to catch him where he did. Isaac Price not impeded too badly. In fact, he may not have been impeded at all. It's kind of an awkward camera shot that made it look worse than it was, but Isaac Price does not appear to have lost any ground on Gabber. That is still a 1 second gap. So Isaac Price giving it his all as the strategy looks perilously close. Isaac Price's right front tire looking very worrisome. Gabber, I think the left rear, well, we know that Gabber uses the rear of the car to drive, and the left rear on Gabber's machine looking a bit thin. Vitalis Lagutskas looking a bit thinner than the left rear on Gabber's car. So close, but seems like as we come across the line to start 3 laps remaining, that these drivers may just make it. But one slide, one spin, one evasive maneuver around a spinning back marker could completely change the complexion of the race in the final laps.
It can for sure. Yeah, with championship leader Lagutskas, he's gonna get a little bit of slipstream off Greed for the blue flags, and of course there we go, Kyle Crorkin. This is actually for position, I think. Yeah, Crorkin, he almost teased a spin there. Thankfully held it, but yeah, he has a chance to fight his way back up to 18th if he can pass the number 73 MRC driver. So yeah, it could be a bit of a happy ending, I suppose, after a difficult middle stint for Crorkin. And he'll definitely put the feet up after this one.
Yeah, we briefly looked back to Dennis Lind, who is not making any progress at all whatsoever. So clearly, I would guess something wrong or different about the car, that it is making it difficult to drive, because the tire and fuel strategy should be more or less the same as he had to open the race. Has not been going as quickly as he did in his first stint. Joni Katila has fought his way back up to 15th position, now ahead of Carlos Matchiotis, who has, I believe that is an Angry Angus car behind him. It is. So Carlos Matchiotis, who ran as high as 7th or 8th, had to stop. That Angry Angus machine is a back marker. This is not for position, so Carlos Matchiotis there in 16th. Not a bad drive from him, having having been forced to take a pit stop. Though he could yet take a few more positions. I'm looking ahead to Nico Pantola, whose tires are awfully close, dangerously close. Careless could yet get 1 or 2 positions if drivers fall by the wayside ahead of him.
Yeah, Darius Versinskas in P5. He has a very narrow gauge to keep those tires going for the remainder. Oh, wobble there for Carolus. Yeah, he's going to miss the chicane, and he has to slow right down to salvage something out of it. But of course, yeah, Jared can't do much.
Imran Azar on
Imran
Darius.
Azar.
We picked them up just as Imran Azar pops out of the slipstream. Darius nursing that car to the end, and it looks like it might be challenging to do so. The way that car is bouncing, I wonder if he's got a puncture. He does not, but it was awfully close. Just stuttering on the brakes. Tires are stone cold, so that car will be a handful indeed. Imran Azar up to 6th, but also with a handful of old tires to deal with.
I suppose Jeff and Jacob had pitted, and he just changed the front left tire, so it may have been close to the puncture, because he didn't lose that much time, I believe. So it was a close run thing for that FXR, but the championship contender won't want to even consider a pit stop at this stage, because that will cost him his championship.
So looking to this man and the driver we were just watching, Vitalis Agutskas, they need to make it 1 more lap and a bit, and tires are the story. Vitalis Agutskas has only to make it 1 more lap. He can yield a few positions and he will still be champion. The tires now getting colder and running very thin. Same story for Isaac Price. Isaac needs to win, but he's got to find 0.8 of a second on Gabber with car in a condition that is, he could ask more for it, but he'll be asking a lot and taking a risk. Gabber into the first corner for the final time. Started from pole position, lost a few positions early in the running, promoted to the lead once again after Isaac went off and Dennis Lynn yielded on an early pit stop. And Gabber will be delighted with this as he approaches the bridge for the final time of asking and negotiate corners 3 and 4. Magic is spun somewhere behind these drivers, and he's buried in the gravel.
Oh.
He's got a puncture, so punctures starting to afflict drivers up and down the order, Eoin.
Yes, without a doubt. It really is the narrow margins. The gravel is thin enough to allow the race green car to keep on jumping on the throttle and going on the brakes to make sure you can get out, gap in the traffic. But yeah, we have to give kudos to these drivers going hell for leather at the end. The race victory to conclude the 2024 GT2 Challenge season. This is it. But they have not shown any signs of blow up at all. They are still hanging on in there.
They are indeed. Gabber through the final left-hand, the final left-hand corner, but the final sweeper, which will not strain the car that much. 1 right-hander here, 1 right-hander to go, and then the left-hand sweeper after that. Isaac Price cannot make any progress. He gained a little bit in the early part of this lap, but now the gap growing. Isaac, I think, has thrown in the towel, knows he will not be able to take victory off Gabber. Gabber coming around turn 11, this sweeping left-hand bend to spoil the perfect season for Vitalis Agutskas. Eoin, bring him under the gantry.
And across the line, Sidus have their way at last. Gabor Győr is victorious, and the pride of Hungary has done it again. Congratulations.
The Hungarian sensation just ahead of Isaac Price cannot take a championship. He needed help from Vitalis Agutskas falling down the order. He also needed a race win, second best today. Vitalis Agutskas, 3 golds and a bronze to get the gold medal in the championship. A brilliant season from him. Commanding performances in the first 2 rounds. Very good drive in the third and a bit of luck to give him a victory. And now rounds out the season on the podium. 4 podium finishes from 4 to become the driver's champion for Yes Motorsport. Ahead of his teammate Isaac Price. Maybe Motorsport, but we know it's really Yes Motorsport. Behind him, second position in the championship. And that win will have consolidated. That win will have consolidated third place in the championship for Gabber as he gets a cheeky punt. A cheeky punt from Vitalis Agutskas. Puncture for Isaac Price on the cooldown lap, so that's how close it was, Owen.
Yeah, exceptionally close. They left it to the final minute, I suppose. It couldn't have been much closer than that. And a few drivers have been less fortunate here. Yeah, a little bit of horseplay there, as Gabor is spun around by our champion. So, and Jeff and Jacob, he had the chance to refuel, and he's not been able to make it to the line. He just wanted to change the tire, and Steve Martin wants to help him. Just wants to help out.
He's just crested the hill there with not quite enough momentum, and now a little bit of help from a very polite and generous Stephen Martin. I always appreciate how drivers seem to have a sixth sense for this. They're not allowed to chat. They may be in the same voice chat in the TeamSpeak server, but Stephen Martin recognizing what was going on with the flashing lights, and it's all downhill from here. Jeff and Jacob will be able to come through turn 11 and then down the hill to consolidate what will it be ultimately? I think he'll end up somewhere around a 17th or 18th position,
yeah, 17th.
perhaps.
Yeah. Jeremy Greed was the first driver a lap down that made it to the end, so he doesn't want to do it. It's not for position.
No. He'll drive. Would you drive past somebody to swipe that position after you give him the little boot across the line? I might for a final lap. Jeff and Jacob, but the final finisher after getting a little bit of help in 17th ahead of Jeremy Greed, a lap down in 18th. Imran Azar, another driver who got a puncture there in the final lap. But there you have it. There you have it. The drivers will need to go around to the podium. They may have taken up the podium as we there we go. The final driver on the podium, Isaac Price coming up now. Darius Verzinskas spoiling the shot by punting the traffic, the control lights. With let's see, that's Daniel Lacoste driving into the background. Everybody will be doing donuts behind the garage area. Daniel Lacoste, I think, wants to drive up on the podium behind Isaac Price. However, we'll curb our fun for a moment to congratulate once again Gabber at the top step of the podium ahead of Isaac Price. Oh no, Isaac Price off the podium now. Daniel Lacoste decides that if he can't be the winner, then no one will. Gabber upside down, winner of the race today ahead of Isaac Price, just 0.6 of a second clear, almost a win, but not quite. Now the fire and rescue car getting in on the abuse. Vitalis Lagutskas consolidates a championship victory with a third-place finish today. Mantas Malkavicius fourth ahead of Imran Azar, Darius Verzinskas, Nico Patola, Daniel Lacoste. Didn't quite come off for Dennis Lind. We thought the aggressive strategy could pay off, but struggled with pace in his second stint. Gabber now back on his wheels. Perhaps I think he might require a little bit of assistance to get up to the podium. Dan Bala finishes 10th, born to race teammate to Dennis Lind in 11th position. His teammate Savas Nierka in 12th ahead of Sean Lee. Good performance from him to finish 13th. Yoni Catilla finishes 14th after a big incident. Running well early in the race forced him to pit. Carlos Machioidis, what might have been Carlos Machioidis if he'd been able to manage the tires, he was on for a solid top 10. Even so, great performance from him to pit and then recover to 15th. Monka in 16th, Jeff and Jacob getting pushed across the line after running out of fuel to 17th. Jeremy Greed in 18th. Cahill Kirkin in 19th, and Cyril Bisset round out the top 20. And they're now Stephen Martin helping other. Oh no, this is Jeff and Jacob again. They're just lapping together. This is their cool down lap now. There was a call from race control to be cool on the way in, and nobody has heeded that order. But I think now they've gotten in on the fun themselves. I don't think they'll be too fussed by it. 21st position goes to Sebastian Tiefenbacher ahead of Yari Catilla, Jade, Reg LeBlanc, Courage in 25th. Saw him a few times, politely getting out of the way of the leaders and having a few battles of his own. Stephen Martin, most generous driver of the day, there in 26th, ahead of Magic. Zdenek Sagash off early and unable to recover, ahead of Rudy, newcomer, in 29th. Zdravko Ivanov, new Zdravko, there in 30th position, ahead of Leshnersky. David Gaj, what might have been a difficult day for him, retired early, ahead of Julio Martin, Boischanar, Villeneuve, and Arias, there in 35th position. I did it, Owen, my God. made it through the order after the podium shenanigans in the background. What a season! What a competition! What a crop of drivers we have here. This has been a blast, and now we wind it down.
Yeah, we can wind it down, of course. We'll get a chance to speak to some of our drivers. There's a big queue in the waiting room there. So, yeah, lots to talk about. So, yeah, well done to everybody on another fabulous season.
Well done to everybody indeed. We'll give everyone a moment or two to line up in the commentary box. We've got 5 in there and waiting for us already. We'll give everybody 1 more minute while we announce the MRCE Challenge trailer coming up. We are back waiting to join. There we go. We are back with Gabber there at the top step of the podium. We have a bunch of people lined up in the commentary box waiting room. And I think first we should call, we don't have a race winner because Gabber refuses to talk to us, bar occasionally jumping in to say hi and then leave again. So let's get our championship winner, Vytautas Lagutskas. Vytautas, welcome to the commentary box. You couldn't quite make it a perfect season, 4 from 4 wins, but you finish on the podium and consolidate a championship victory. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. It was a good season overall. Many competitors, some quick ones. To be fair, I love this one, and I hope we will have GT2 Challenge next year as well.
I hope so too. Once again, drivers ahead of you making mistakes really set the tone for your race. You were running, looked like a strong and comfortable 5th position without any urgency to do better than that. And then a couple of mistakes ahead of you. Well, Dennis yielded the lead deliberately. That was part of his strategy, which unfortunately didn't work out. But then, Eoin fell by the wayside. Isaac fell back into your clutches, and it looked like you might just have a chance to swipe a victory. But talk a little more about your race.
Well, to be fair, I didn't expect anything more than like P3 for today. I knew I was a bit slow on race pace overall compared to other guys. I guess Eoin wanted to do pit stop strat, but there was no safety car, so he couldn't make it either way. So I believe I would have been ahead of him either way. And Isaac did some mistakes, but I guess in his car he had just more pace on straights. I couldn't get like to the side of him when going into chicane, so I always yielded position there, and there was no more like places for me to even attempt to overtake because FZR had like superior top speed. So I guess I did best I could for today.
Yeah, for sure, Vytautas, you definitely did your best. Many congratulations. I suppose my moment of the race was when Yanni Catilla spun right in front of you, and I just had to shout to make sure it was caught on camera. So did you think it was always going to be your day once you saw that happen and there was no risk of an accident?
To be fair, at the first stage of the race, I thought it might be possible to fight for higher positions because I managed to keep up with Gabor for more than half of a race, I would think. We just swapped faster laps, and I thought maybe I could catch up to him because there wasn't much of a gap between us. But I guess in later laps, FZR is just superior because I guess also as well FXR uses more tires, so I guess I just couldn't make it in the end to bring it to them.
Well, thank you for talking us through your race, and once again, many congratulations to you. Brilliant performance. 3 wins from 3, and then a podium finish, 3rd place to round out the season. Vitalis Lagutskas, your 2024 season GT2 Challenge champion. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Next, I think we'll talk to Isaac Price. Let's get Isaac in here. Isaac, what might have been a strong 2nd place finish. You just made it on strategy once again. A puncture there at the very end, right at the end of the race, but not quite enough to take a championship. You needed a bit of luck, but you do consolidate 2nd place. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, to be honest, I knew that winning the championship wasn't really in my hands, especially after quali. But even before then, I mean, I think Vitalis is more than good enough to get, you know, top 4, top 5 almost in any race on this game. So it was always going to be tough. I wanted to go out with a win, but yeah, obviously I made a silly mistake and put myself in a position where it wasn't really possible to win anymore.
Well, yeah, it's unfortunate for you, Isaac, but my question is lap 1, that proved to be very important because Dennis Lind came out of absolutely nowhere to lead. So considering how close qualifying was, would you mind thinking your mind back to that first lap and tell us what you saw?
to be honest, I didn't think I realized it was Dennis that was leading until like lap 4 or lap 5.
Well,
I thought it was Mantas because in practice his start pace is really good, and yeah, I thought he was starting on my right, so I kind of thought like, oh, he must have just sneaked through at the start and got into the lead. I was really confused.
We were thrown off by the timing not updating as quickly as we could see the action, and we were just as confused as you.
That's reassuring at least. But yeah, obviously, once I saw the lap times that Dennis was doing, I could understand quite easily that he was on a different strategy, so my race wasn't really with him.
So looking forward, a strong finish in GT2 Challenge. Might we expect to see you in E Challenge? Has that? I don't think we haven't seen you take on that E Challenge. Could we convince you to bring your talent to electric car racing?
Well, I mean, before we move on from this championship, I'd like to congratulate Vitalis on a great championship. He basically extracted the most out of his car in every single race and really deserved the championship. So yeah, congratulations to him, and obviously congratulations as well to Gabor for winning this race. I think he's the first person other than me to win a race with the FZR since the series started. So.
You've reminded me. Then we predicted.
I'm not sure if that's because I missed a race at Fern Bay in 2021, and I don't know who won that race. I think it was Joe.
The records, hang on.
But yeah, I can't remember. But
we guessed
in the races that I've done, I'm the only one who won with an FZR. So yeah, big congratulations to him.
We guessed during the race that there might be a little bit of. I don't want to say moaning, but perhaps a little bit of complaining about FXR restrictions since it was so strong now and an FZ hasn't won in so long. So we'll leave that to you though.
I think that it was the FXR was a little bit stronger than it was expected to be on the tracks where it had its original restriction, but I actually think the pace it had on the tracks that it got improved on was actually about where it's supposed to be. So yeah, I don't really have too much complaints on that side. Obviously there's if it's competitive at the very top of the game, whether it's too fast for the people in the middle of the game, then maybe that's a different debate. At least when I was playing LFS in the early days, it was intended that it was slower because it was better for people who maybe didn't have as much time to practice and didn't have the car control to handle the FZR or the XR. But yeah, that's more conversation for NDR. That's not my job.
Well, fair enough. Thanks for your thoughts there, and obviously thanks for your kind words to Vitalis, a deserving champion. And once again, congratulations on 2nd place, and hopefully we'll see you again in one of these competitions soon.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was Isaac Price, 2nd place today in the race, 2nd place in the championship. And let's talk to Trespasser, Darius Vazinskas. Darius Brzezinskis, the second best of the FXRs today. Strong finish. Talk us through your race.
Hello everyone. It was quite quiet race this time. I had some good racing at the start and then just did my own strategy. At the end, Ajar was just a bit too fast. My cars were cold, so he got me back. But overall, happy as team closed the championship. Pretty much top 4 championship are in our yes chat, so happy on that. How it was for you guys?
It's definitely quite the show. In fairness, so Darius. So I suppose, I suppose we teamed up actually 3 years ago here at Westhill. I incorrectly said it was Dravco, it was yourself. We were in that independent entry around the 6 hours. So, I suppose, did you have any fun battles? Because it looked really, really thrilling yourself. I think it was Imran you were very close with today.
Yes, we had a pretty good start. Montes had some troubles early on, and people saving tires early on, cold tires, so everyone going slow to wide. So it was just playing smart, some overtakes. It was kind of fun. Kind of shame Isaac didn't win, so he closed season without a win. I was kind of rooting for him, so a bit shame on that.
And looking forward, can we now we've announced E-Challenge, no dates yet, but it is coming up. Can we expect to see you in the MRC E-Challenge?
I'm not sure. I need still to check calendar of I'm here or not. Still like 50-50. I can't say for sure.
Well, we hope to see you there, and we thank you for competing in GT2 Challenge. It has been a pleasure talking to you in the commentary box after each one of these events, and we're thrilled to have you in the competition. Thanks very much again. Congratulations on a strong finish today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you guys for your job, Guy. Have a great one.
Thank you. Carlos Machioidis is in the commentary box waiting room. We'll have a chat with him. Carlos, you looked very, very strong early in the race, fighting for positions well into the top 10. Had to make a pit stop, which I suppose you're a little disappointed with where you ended up, but in our view, you made a pretty nice recovery after having to stop to claim a few more positions, finish where you did. Talk about your race.
The race was quite good. I wasn't expecting to fight Imran together with Sean, but I was happy to see that I can hold even ground with them. Of course, Imran was much better overall because he was keeping up with me while tire saving. So yeah, but still, I was happy driving there together with them in front of them. Once I got my tires down to proper temperatures after the heat peak, I was able to just push ahead. So yeah, it was going fine. I knew I had to pit, and after the pit, I had a massive slide on the corner before the last one. That cost me surprisingly only 2 positions, one of which I was able to get back on the last lap because someone had a puncture, I guess. So yeah, I think it went fine even with that slide included.
Carlos, I suppose my question is, it wasn't the ideal race for you today, but how do you feel the season as a whole went for you?
It went good. I say it went good. I feel like my pace is good, at least for me. And yeah, I think I did gradually start to feel the car better than compared to the first rounds. Just holding the car better, being on the limit more often than sliding. So yeah, it was good.
And a last question before you go, because we can't talk to you and wish you well without giving you a hard time about Chase Cam. When can we expect to see you in the cockpit?
I mean, do you remember how my first round was when I magically started 10th and then continuously went downwards. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a go sometime, but for now I'm happy with my pace. So I don't want to switch when I'm happy.
That's fair for all the crap we give you about it. You should do what you enjoy and what you have fun doing. So, thank you once again for joining us in the commentary box and on a good season. Top 10 in Rockingham, and though a little bit further down the order today, it was a brilliant performance. We enjoyed watching. So, congratulations to you. Thanks once again, and hopefully we'll see you in E-Challenge or whatever comes after.
Yeah, you should see me. Thank you.
Cheers. Sean Lee is here waiting in the commentary waiting room, so we'll talk to him as well. Sean Lee, you had a very good race today. Lots of action, lots of fighting with you were with Imran Azar for a long time. I think the thing I want to ask you about is how much do you enjoy this action and putting it into the amazing trailers recap videos that you're giving us?
Oh yeah, thanks guys. So yeah, we have come to the end of the season. That's pretty quick. It's gone by pretty quick. Yeah, I enjoyed it pretty much, not just the driving but also making the trailers. Hope everybody enjoyed it. It takes a few brain cells, but I think it adds a bit more excitement to the start of the stream, I guess.
It does indeed. We love them. And now talk about your race. You were right there in the thick of it for much of it. You spent plenty of time on camera. Ended up a little bit further down the order, but it looked like you had an exciting drive.
Yeah, thanks. I wasn't really prepared for this round. I was working, so I pretty much just came back with 40 minutes to go, hopped in the car and just raced. So I didn't even try the race setup, so it was just winging it. The cars ahead were a bit too quick, especially on the full fuel. Battling with Carolis was pretty amazing, I think. He enjoyed it as well. He had really good traction out of the traction zones, and with my mouse it's pretty hard to keep up, so that's why we ended up in a huge train.
Yes, indeed, Sean. I suppose my question is perhaps the one-stop strategy perhaps didn't go according to plan. Was there anything that you felt could have gone a bit different, even if the strategy did pay off?
Yeah, for me, because I'm on mouse, so I'm locking up into turn one quite a bit, even if I'm not really trying to push. So it was never an option to go no stop. So I had to pit. I was holding up for a safety car. It didn't happen. So I had to pit, and I was a bit stumped because the pace on the high field was not that good, but the pace on the lower field was actually quite good. I did I think top 5 lap time, so pretty devastated at the end. But it was very fun to race in this round, so I think that made up for it.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Sean, and moreover, thank you for all of your effort putting together your brilliant recap videos. We really enjoy watching them. You're doing great work, and you do a lot of justice to the competition and our presentation, so we really appreciate that. Can we expect to see you in E-Challenge?
Well, you have to see. I'm not too sure about my schedule, but if you see me around, you see me around.
Well, we'll have dates for you in just a moment. We'll come to that in a second. We've got one more person waiting in the commentary box waiting room. We'll bring in Cyril Desay.
Bye.
Cyril, you completed a full season of the GT2 challenge. Talk about your race today, and then I guess talk about your experience in the championship.
Hi. Well, today was a pretty good race for me, I think. Started P28 or P29, I think, in the quali. It was not that good. In the race, though, I managed to take advantage of some of the accidents in front of me. I was going for a one-stop strategy, so I knew I could push a bit on the tires if needed. Because during practice I was constantly flat spotting my front right in T1. So it went pretty okay. I was P19 when I made my pit stop. I lost 3 positions during that and managed to come back to P20, so pretty happy with the result.
Yeah, Sarah, you should be absolutely delighted, to be honest. That was such a composed drive. We weren't really able to see much of you because the drama was happening elsewhere, but I suppose, did you see what happened to turn 11 at the very end of the first lap, where we saw Zdenek being vaulted high into the air?
I saw the rocket ship.
Yeah, it caused a big surprise for us as well. I thought there would be a safety car, but he was able to land just over the catch fence.
I saw another car. I don't know who that was near the wall. I'm not sure they were on the proper side of the wall or on the other side, though.
Well, Cyril, now you got a full championship season under your belt. How do you rate it, and can we expect to see you in another one?
Well, I think I DNF'd in Rockingham. That wasn't the best one, but the championship overall, I think I improved during the course of that. So definitely a positive, and I'm just looking forward for another one now, so I can get more practice and hopefully improve.
Well, we thank you very much for joining and participating, sticking with it, even though it certainly feels good to be near the front of the order. We're glad you enjoyed the racing and that you ran a full season with us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's Cyril Desay. We thank him very much for joining the commentary box waiting room, and I think we have one order of business yet to conduct, Eoin, before we pop off here. We've got the MRC E Challenge coming soon. Eoin, have you? I know you are an E Challenge enjoyer. Let's hype it up a little bit for our viewers, and then maybe sometime soon we'll be announcing dates. Yeah, so no dates again for that coming soon. We don't yet have a thread up, but look for that on the MRC sub forum of Live for Speed forums, and sometime pretty soon we expect to have dates for everyone so that you can go sign up there. Once again, look for just like we do for all of these competitions, look for a thread on the MRC sub forum of the Live for Speed forums, and we hope to see everyone in the MRC Challenge next big series coming up from New Dimension Racing, MRC, and Sim Broadcast. Eoin, I think that will do it for us. Round out your thoughts on an incredible season.
Yeah, of course. It's great to see the series back in full flow. The 4 seasons, 4 track events in the season. You had good variety. Aston, Rockingham, Kyoto, and indeed Westhill today. So it was good. A variety of tracks, and it was a case of Vitautas never let go of that championship lead once he got it, and there was just no stopping him. But of course, we had a lot of drivers putting their best foot forward, giving the series their opportunity, whether they've been a veteran for the whole 5 years it's been about, or if it's their first go, as we saw with Cyril as one example. A lot of battles, and the cars. I think the balancing of the intake restriction, there was a bit of a fear that maybe it would backfire, but I don't believe that to be the case. It went very well. Race direction, incredible job. Maybe 1 or 2 small things that could be looked at and improved on, but I think we all can be very proud of NDR and all the drivers for a superb season.
Could not have put it any better myself. That will do it for us. A fantastic season concluded today, round 4 done. Gabber, the winner today, finally gets one, winning from pole position. But Vitalijs Lagutskas is your championship. Almost, but not quite a perfect season. 3 wins, 1 podium finish, 3rd place today. He is the 2024 GT2 Challenge champion. Congratulations to everyone who finished on podiums this season, everyone who finished a race, everyone who joined and had fun. We thank you all very much for joining and competing. Pete and Mo in the background, in our ears and running the cameras, helping us call a lot of action that is difficult to keep up with, would be impossible without their help. The New Dimension Racing team for sanctioning and putting on this event. All of our competitors, once again, who joined, and everybody, obviously, who watches. We put these shows on for our entertainment, but for your entertainment as well. And we would not do it without all of you. Finally, Eoin, Harmon, this was our first full season gig together in the commentary box. I could not have been more thrilled to share with you. It was a blast calling these races with you. So thank you very much for joining me here in the box. And I think that's all we have to do. Wherever you are in the world, be safe, be well. Thank you very much once again for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.